It's Saturday night prime time in Richmond, Virginia, a legacy racetrack on the NASCAR calendar. Tonight, the race to the chase continues to get more and more intense as for the second straight week, NASCAR comes to a short track. The green flag flies, and it's time to drop the hammer.
It's free wide, heading towards the checkers.
Oh, everybody's crashing!
Side by side for the win!
He muscles him up and out of the groove! Now contact and around!
And this is going to stack up about 15 of them!
Three wide for three rows. Kyle Larson has pulled off grand larceny!
Unbelievable!
The capital city of Virginia tonight in Richmond gets set to play host to a very important race as we get ready for the first and only trip of the season to the short track in Richmond, Virginia, as we get set for 400 laps of short track racing in prime time on a Saturday night. Hello, one and all. I'm Matthew Owens. Our USN Racing family welcomes you to Richmond. Thanks for having us in for the race. Seth Eaves comes up in just a moment. This racetrack has been on the NASCAR calendar since the 1950s. We've been running here ever since. For many years, of course, we ran here twice a year. Now it's just one race a year here at Richmond. Perhaps that is part of the magic of why the grandstands will be packed tonight and why we'll get racing here like we don't see anywhere else. So much in NASCAR these days is about how unique each and every race weekend is and how unique each and every racetrack is. And this 3/4 of a mile track at Richmond, despite it looking so much like the racetrack in Iowa that we ran on last week, it is certainly very different. Last week at Iowa, a 7/8 of a mile D-shaped short track, but a racetrack that in many ways runs more like an intermediate. Tonight, 3/4 of a mile D-shaped short track that races almost like a hybrid. It has short track tendencies. It also has intermediate tendencies to it. We're going to get one of the most unique races so far in 2026, and it all happens with just 3 races left to make the postseason, the chase for the NASCAR championship. Here is a look at how the championship standings stack up as we head in to this anti-penultimate race of the regular season. Denny Hamlin at the top of the championship standings. He now leads by 103 points, but there's a new name in second. That is Ty Gibbs, coming off of his second win of the season at Iowa last week. He moves to second in the standings with Ryan Blaney staying in third, and Tyler Reddick, who was unbeatable at the start of the year, has now slipped to fourth and is 120 points behind Hamlin. Chase Briscoe is a full 140 points behind Reddick in fifth. Page 2, the number to your right, now represents how many points each driver is ahead of the Chase cut line. Christopher Bell, Chase Elliott, Carson Hocevar, Chris Buescher, and Kyle Larson are all theoretically safe to make the chase in a few weeks' time. Now where it gets tight, there you see it, William Byron, last year's regular season champion, is only 11th. Daniel Suarez, the World 600 at Charlotte winner, is 100 points above the cut line. Joey Logano, a threat to win tonight, is 13th. Darrell Wallace Jr. led a lot of laps in this race a year ago. He's only 68 markers above the cut line, while Shane Van Gisbergen is plus 47, trying to make the chase. 16 drivers make the chase for the NASCAR championship, so the cut line is 16th, and that's where we find Austin Cindric, who finished top 5 in this race a year ago. He holds that last chase chase spot by just 29 points over Ryan Preece, who was the pole sitter for this race a year ago. Below that cut line, Ross Chastain, off his really good weekend at Iowa last week, is now up to 18th, and he's a part of the mix here. So too is Brad Keselowski, a two-time Richmond winner. Eric Jones is backsliding. So that's what the championship standings look like coming into this very important race here in Richmond, Virginia. As I mentioned, I am joined tonight by Seth Eaves. And Seth, Richmond has always put on some of the most unique racing on the NASCAR calendar, depending on what Richmond you're talking about. If it was the old Richmond Fairgrounds, the half-mile short track, we didn't get racing anywhere else like we got at the fairgrounds. Then it became the Richmond International Raceway, three-quarter-mile D-shaped oval that had sealer put on top of it and made the racing very intense. It was called the Action Track back then. Now, as the Richmond Raceway, there is no sealer over the asphalt here, and the racing has changed. Now, we see drivers use 3, sometimes even 4 lanes to race on. Tire degradation is very high, and even though it's not like the past 2 versions of Richmond, it's still an entertaining Richmond at the very least.
Here tonight, and it's an interesting race. It's an interesting race in the fact that if you're looking for guys that can win races, that could make that are amongst the contenders, you're not necessarily looking at guys that are either locked in the chase or even in the chase comfortably. You're looking at some guys on the outside around that bubble. You mentioned Austin Cindric had his fair share of success last year. Oh, by the way, one guy who I think is pretty much all but out of the chase is the favorite tonight for some. That's Austin Dillon, who last 2 times here, one less eventful than the other. But it's going to be quite amazing to see how this all works out tonight. It's going to be beaten. It's going to be some banging, and we're going to have a good old short track feud tonight. And where else would I rather be on a Saturday night than with my main man, Big Mo, for a 400-lap Saturday night house party? Welcome to USF Saturday Night, presented by Not Discover.
Well, exactly right. We're not taking anyone's money yet.
I bet you can't guess which announcer video I posted today. I worked on today.
So Richmond, of course, it is a racetrack that provides a lot of entertainment in a lot of different ways. And as Seth mentioned, Austin Dillon has won the last 2 Cup races here at Richmond. He was not expected to win either one of those, but you could not say, coming away from either of those last 2 Richmond races, that he did not have the best car in the last 2. So will he have the best car tonight? Only time will tell. But of course, win and in is now out of the NASCAR vernacular. So Austin Dillon, not really a part of the chase conversation, as Seth mentioned. He's well down in the championship standings, but perhaps is still one of the heavy favorites tonight. You see on your screen, he'll start outside of row number 8 here for tonight's race. Now, let's go back 1 week, Seth. Iowa, we've talked about a short track, but does it race similarly to Richmond? Some people say yes, some people say no. If it does, we could be on for Ty Gibbs going back-to-back, because Gibbs, despite some trouble on pit road last week, came back to score what was his 2nd career win, and that's been a lot of the conversation this week in NASCAR Nation. Is Ty Gibbs a legitimate championship threat? He's 2nd in the championship standings through the first 22 races of the season. So what say you about Ty Gibbs' championship chances?
If you could make a tier between top-notch contender and next in line, I think he falls somewhere into that. I know that's kind of hedging, it's fence sitting, and it's a big fence if I'm sitting on it, but I kind of lean no, not yet. Now, he could go totally in the last 13 weeks, go prove me wrong and win this thing, but I would still go Hamlin and probably, then again, I don't know who I make second favorite now that Reddick is, you're watching a live rack track it in real time, folks. I bet you never know that's a thing. Hex Bex, maybe he is.
Well, you mentioned Tyler Reddick. The downfall of this 45 team over the last, let's say, 10 weeks has been incredible to watch, hasn't it? Because he did look unbeatable at the start of the season. Now, here he is over the last 9 races with an average finish of 24th. And tonight, Seth, as everyone sees on their screen, he starts 32nd. What in the wide world can we say about what has happened to the 45 team?
I mean, perhaps they read their own press clippings too early? Is that a possible answer?
Possibly.
I mean, the law is it as simple as the law of averages? Because I don't know if it's anything else that the rest of the pack's done per se. It's just they've been just finding the trouble that everybody else found early in the season. You have to remember that some of those races they won or came close early in the year, they weren't exactly the dominant car.
Right.
So I do think people kind of forget that. But it's interesting. It's an interesting fall off, and they need to get it going, or else they're going to be it's going to be what we call a wasted season.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about that, because, and you are right when you say he wasn't the dominant car in, let's say, Daytona, COTA, Kansas, some of those races that he did win early. He was just fortunate in some cases, like Daytona, to get through the carnage and get to the checkered flag. Atlanta is a race that he won with sheet metal, not on the right front fender, remember. Reddick, as you said, perhaps it is the law of averages, is now finding the trouble that the 45 team was able to avoid through the first part of the year. He'll start deep in the pack in this race tonight, as you see. So too, Seth, will Kyle Larson, the pole sitter for the Knoxville Nationals, that goes on tonight, that Larson will not be able to be a part of, despite winning the pole position. Now here's a guy that's the defending series champion, Seth, but he has not won this year, and he's starting to hit a winless drought approaching 50 races.
That's crazy to think about, by the way. I mean, it's just absolutely crazy. I mean, it happens to everybody, doesn't it? A dry spell. And I mean, I think it's easy to sit here and see, talking about Kyle Larson. I don't know if it's a Kyle Larson problem. It's just a Hendrick Motorsports problem. None of their cars are just working worth a flip right now. And that's obviously a big problem for that organization. And Larson, I mean, yeah, whoever's going to run his car in the Knoxville Nationals now has a chance to make some history for himself.
Yeah, that's for sure. Brad Hackett in the comments section. Glad to have you with us, Brad, and thank you for the compliment. Says, my favorite NASCAR commentators. Appreciate it, guys.
Wow. Check will be in the mail soon, Brad.
And I love this username. I wish I was a little bit taller. 5169 says, absolutely treat to listen to your play-by-play and commentary. You guys have a gift. Can't wait to see where you take it. Well, thank you for the kind words in the comments. My goodness. 2 comments to start the night, and they're both positive. Someone else needs to come in.
Let's be our TikTok fans.
Someone needs to come in the comments and set us straight and even things out, because you can't do anything on the internet that's 100% positive. But
Red Box will be here soon enough.
Yeah, well, okay. Glad to have you guys with us for sure tonight as we get set for 400 laps and 300 miles from the Richmond Raceway. Ryan Blaney on pole. He's been doing that a lot lately. This is the 4th race in the last 5 that he'll start first. Now, he didn't win the pole at one of those races. He inherited it with qualifying being washed out. But we talk about championship favorites, and, each and every week we get closer to this chase, Seth. We're going to have to talk more and more about who can take it to the Toyotas and who can take it particularly to Denny Hamlin to win this championship. Ryan Blaney has been on the tips of many tongues in that conversation this year, and perhaps tonight a chance for the 12 team, which was so good on the short track last week, finished 3rd. He starts at the front once again. this weekend. And tonight, let's see what Blaney has in store for us tonight. All 3 Penske cars finished top 5 in this race a year ago.
This is a Penske track, you don't hear that too often these days, it feels like, but this is a Penske track, and I would expect all 3 of them to be within the top 6 to 8 throughout the evening. I mean, because you mentioned even Cindric led laps last year. Logano goes very well here. And then Blaney runs fairly well here, and again he'll have the advantage early of clean air tonight. So yeah, interesting to see how it all works out for him tonight, as he is a guy that if that pit crew can just get a little bit better, I know it's like a broken record, then I think you maybe would make him a championship favorite, because of the history of Hamlin. But yeah, that pit crew does have its issues sometimes. They had some good moments last week.
Yeah, and they kept him in the race last week, finished 3rd, and had a really good run at Iowa. Now we come to Richmond, under the lights. It's great to have Richmond back as a Saturday night race. It was last year, and it was a grandstand sellout. This feels like Richmond. I know there's a lot of conversations about Sunday night races these days, but it does feel right to have a Richmond race on a Saturday night. So we get ready for the Cookout 400 from the Richmond Raceway, and let's talk a little bit more about what this Richmond racetrack provides. 3/4 of a mile short track. It's a D-shaped oval. You're constantly turning the wheel here. You look at this front straightaway, which is a constant turn, and then you dive into the corners. You have multiple lanes to choose from here. Banking in the corners at 14 degrees, but Seth, look how difficult it is to get the throttle down out of turn 2 especially. Can really lose the nose. We took the Ricky Rudd line from 2001 right there, didn't we?
Oh, we sure did. Can't believe you, of all people, brought that particular race up. But anyway, yes, we did. And, you want to be in a good position if you're running second, because, man, how many times have we seen bump and runs with drivers get into that number 3 corner with so much momentum late in the race? Obviously, we saw, you mentioned the Rudd and Harvick battle. That was, we've only had one last lap pass. We didn't have a last lap pass here until 2016, which stunned me when I heard that statistic watching that race. We had Carl Edwards rough up Kyle Busch in turn 3 for a win. And some other incidents early in the race we weren't necessarily about. One at the other end of the racetrack that got a lot of people excited. But anyway, but yeah, so momentum is big. I know that's a word we try not to say a whole lot of. But if you are right there, if you can be close enough and set yourself up to maybe at least rattle the old cage a little bit going to 3 and 4, that could be a heck of a run. You could set yourself up for a big win here tonight. So it'll be interesting to see who is going to have the mojo, and I think you said it best. There's no Matt's whiteboard, so I might as well just go ahead and give you a big key. The last couple of times we've been here, tires have been an absolute story, and I would expect that to be a story again here tonight.
Yeah, tire degradation very hard here and very high here at Richmond. Hard and high is the tire degradation around this short track. Engines were just fired, so we get set to go through the starting grid here in just a moment. And before we do that, as you mentioned, Seth, no whiteboard tonight because our guy Matt White is not with us, of course. But Seth, what's some other things that you're looking out for tonight? I ask as I tap dance now for just a moment.
Oh my goodness. He's a big fella, but he's nimble. He's fleet of foot. But anyway.
Very good.
In all seriousness, this is... The tires are the huge key, obviously. And, how do you handle your car? Who has the right setup? And because remember, we're starting this race under some dusk, but we're going to end it under dark. So who has the nighttime is the right time type of setup? Who's got it dialed into where they can be just good enough in that early portion, and then when the track changes, boom, they've got the setup that can take them to victory lane. I think that's key tonight. I also think there's a level-headedness, and there's also the guys that are around the chase have to be level-headed. Guys that are like, from like Byron on back that are still in contention. How do you go about stages? Do you try to maximize stage points tonight? That, I think, is going to be very important. Strategy on that end. I think those are some of the other things that we are looking forward to as we approach the green flag here tonight in Richmond.
Yep, and of course, win to pit as well. Green flag pit stops have happened a lot here in years past with that high tire degradation. We didn't used to get that at all in the second version of Richmond, the sealant Richmond racetrack, but we do get it a lot these days. Now, let's take a look at that aforementioned starting grid for tonight's running of the Cookout 400 from the Richmond Raceway. It's Ryan Blaney on pole for the fourth time in the last 5 weeks. It's his 16th career pole. He's next to Chase Briscoe, who's been sixth or better in 5 of the last 6 races. Row 2, Josh Berry in his second top 5 starting spot of the year, and Ty Gibbs, who's been in the top 5 in all 4 short track races this year. William Byron and Ryan Priest, both guys that need good runs, they line up in row 3. In row 4, it's a brace of Toyotas. Darrell Wallace Jr., he led 123 laps here a year ago. Christopher Bell second last week for the 7th time this year. And then a pair of 2-time Richmond winners fill out row 5, Brad Keselowski and Joey Logano.
Connor Zilich finally got a fit to finish a race last week. He'll be with John Hunter Nemechek in the 6th row. Chase Elliott and the hometown hero, Denny Hamlin. Emotional night for him. He starts outside of the 7th row. Row 8 is A.J. Allmendinger from California, and the man who's won the last 2 here, Austin Dillon. 9th row, Riley Herbst from Nevada and Ross Chastain from Florida, potentially back in chase contention after his strong run to the Hawkeye State last week. Chris Buescher's a former winner here. He'll start in row 10 alongside the Spire Motorsports driver, Daniel Suarez.
And as you look through the rest of the starting grid, we'll remind you that this is a 300-mile race. Austin Cindric, of course, used a lot of those 300 miles to get to the front last year, finished top 5, as all 3 of the Penske cars did. There's Alex Bowman starting 25th. He was second in this race a year ago. He's got a fellow Arizona driver in Michael McDowell next to him. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. there. This is his 25th career Cup start at Richmond. And there's Kyle Larson. He started this race 30th last year, and once again, he starts 30th tonight. And what about Tyler Reddick? Starting 32nd with an average finish of 24th over the last 9 races. Watch out for Shane Van Gisbergen and see what he can give us tonight. He was the pole sitter for the truck race that got ran here earlier today and finished 4th. Austin Hill, emotional night for that team. And then to wind down the field, it is Cody Ware from Greensboro, North Carolina. That's the starting grid for the Cookout 400 here at Richmond. A Chevy-heavy field, as we like to say around here, with 11 Fords and 9 Toyotas. 400 laps, 300 miles, just under 483 kilometers. Set those stage lengths, very important. That first stage, just 70 laps. Then the second stage, more than doubled that at 160. We're going to see a lot of different strategies, and we're going to see, really, the strategy shift completely for these crew chiefs from stage 1 to stages 2 and 3, just because the stage lengths are so drastically different.
Yeah, you're right about that. And it goes back to the point of how do you manage this if you're a driver that needs points? And, for that matter, from a Denny Hamlin perspective and a Ty Gibbs, guys like that, Ryan Blaney, regular season championship possibility. You got to manage points from that perspective. So it'll be interesting to watch, that is for sure, as now you're getting to that moment where everybody, by the way, I can't believe we haven't even mentioned this yet. As if we needed another reason to make this great. This, along with another race coming up later in the year, the best race sponsor on the circuit.
Yeah, and Cookout.
You will not be surprised to know that Mr. Owens and myself are heavy patrons.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Said establishment.
You best believe that. Cookout in their LifeLock era, Seth. We have the Cookout 400 at Martinsville in the spring. We have the Cookout 400 at Richmond, and then later we'll have the Cookout Southern 500 at Darlington, and then, of course, for the last 2 years, we've had the Cookout Clash at Bowman Gray. So they're in their LifeLock era.
They absolutely are, and I forgot about Cookout at Martinsville. So yeah, Yeah, their LifeLock / Camping World era.
Yes. Ready to go here in Richmond. As we said, this is a legacy racetrack on the NASCAR calendar. It's been around since 1953. And I know there was a lot of discontent from people a couple of years ago when Richmond lost one of its dates. But Seth, you look up at these grandstands last year, tonight, you can see why one date at certain tracks really works, and the same can be said here for Richmond, because we've got another great crowd here tonight for NASCAR's once-a-year trip to the capital city of Virginia.
Yeah, it hurts, as much as I love certain tracks, maybe even more could go to that, one date a year thing, and I think it would really, really help. You never know, attendance and interest and stuff like that. By the way, since it's not a Sunday, there won't be much of a hot lap from a racing perspective. But when we get to that portion at the end of stage 2, I believe this is last minute on air production meeting. I think we're going to use that to talk schedule news, because Richmond was mentioned in that,
yes,
and it's going back to a somewhat familiar place on the schedule. And also, some Chairman Bob Jenkins, some race idiots have dealt another blow yet again to an actual good racetrack.
Well, yes.
You can fill in the blanks on that one.
Yes, that's right. We have had some scheduling news this week with the crumb dropping of the NASCAR schedule.
They're really trying to... Boy, the NFL... Everybody wants to be the NFL, don't they?
They love it. They love trying to be the NFL. So, ready to go. Pat Towles here at Richmond. Short track racing on a Saturday night, Seth. Is there anywhere else that you'd rather be than here?
No, sir. I'm with my main man, Big Mo. We're chopping it up in the Virginia capital. That Toyota Camry pace car is about to make a hard turn to the pit lane. Yeah, get out of the way, mister. Here we go. Blaney Briscoe front row for the start of the Cookout 400 in Richmond. Walnut Cove, North Carolina's Matthew Owens.
We've been racing at Richmond for 73 years, and tonight the green flag waves again. It's time to drop the hammer for Cup Series race number 138 at the Richmond Raceway.
Side by side, Alpha turn number 2, Ryan Blaney and Chase Briscoe. Briscoe has the slight advantage on the outside heading into turn number 3. Briscoe with a slight edge. Blaney will fight back on the inside.
Up off of turn number 4, Chase Briscoe's got the better run off the top, and by a nose, he will lead lap number 1, but Blaney is back on him to the inside of turn 1. They're 3 wide for 5th.
3 wide for 5th between Wallace, Priest, and Byron. 3 guys kind of close to each other in points. Brad Keselowski's in that mix too. He'll go to the inside of Byron now, as he was the one that decided to back out.
Briscoe again at the line has just a nose ahead of Ryan Blaney and his bright and colorful number 12. The duel for the lead continues wheel to wheel.
Side by side, Blaney inside, Briscoe outside. Blaney gets good bite off at turn 2, but Briscoe fights back high side. Blaney by a scotch approaching 3. Briscoe, though, surging high.
This is the side-by-side racing that we love to see at Richmond. This time, Blaney got the drive up off the bottom of turn 4. He leads lap number 3. Further back, Kyle Larson started 30th, already trying to pick up positions in traffic.
He sure is. He's in a kerfuffle with Austin Hill, Todd Gilliland, and Zane Smith. At the front, still dead even. Briscoe maybe a slight edge this time off 4.
Yeah, Briscoe's got an edge. Blaney comes back at him. Briscoe leads lap 4. Every single lap, the margin at the line has been just hundredths, if not thousandths of a second.
Yep, side by side yet again between these two. The Indiana and the North Carolina native, respectively. Briscoe and Blaney dead even. You can't tell them apart off that number 4 corner.
Coming around a complete lap 5, and Blaney and Briscoe are not giving an inch, and an inch is not being asked from either one of these drivers. Back to turn 1, they're side by side still.
Still side by side for the lead now. Nearly contact coming on that back straightaway. Briscoe on the outside, Blaney on the inside again. A little too close to call.
Briscoe's Toyota comes off turn 4 and still once again kicks the nose of that Camry out in front as they cross the line and head back to the corner.
Still dead even, and all this racing has allowed Josh Berry and Ty Gibbs to lurk and potentially join the battle here. Briscoe has the advantage going into 3. Blaney, though, packs it in, still side by side.
Blaney right along that yellow line at the bottom of the track. He'll get to the line first, this time by just 6/1000ths of a second, the 17th race in 2026 that Blaney has led.
Blaney and Briscoe continuing not to give an inch. Briscoe a slight edge. They nearly touch again on the back straightaway. On the approach to 3, it really is dead even. Blaney, though, surges out just a bit. Briscoe fights back.
Blaney's got a nose in front across the line. Now he's got a door in front. Will Briscoe fall in line behind him this time in turn 1? He might just. Ryan Blaney secures the lead.
Ryan Blaney does secure the lead, and he's finally going to be clear. Finally, somebody gets clear. It's Blaney clear to the lead. Briscoe to second. Berry to third. Ryan Blaney, your race leader.
Josh Berry in that red and white Wood Brothers number 21. Great qualifying effort for him. Just his second top 5 starting spot of the year. He also started third in the spring Martinsville race. All of a sudden, Seth, he's attacking Chase Briscoe.
He is attacking Chase Briscoe. Meanwhile, further back, Kyle Larson continuing to try and gain positions, and Briscoe falling into the clutches of Berry, while Larson battles with the Austin Hill machine down the back straightaway.
Also, you've got Ty Gibbs approaching on the scene towards the front of this field. Last week's Iowa winner runs fourth, further back in traffic. Kyle Larson, as Seth mentioned, to the right elbow of Austin Hill in car 33. They're just behind Carson Hocevar and Todd Gilliland.
Great battle, great racing right here as they continue to go down the back straightaway. Here is Gilliland just ahead of Hocevar as they go into turn number 3, and Larson to the outside of Hill. A.J. Allmendinger's also in that mix.
As you can see on timing and scoring, left side of your screen, Larson started 30th, and that is still where he runs. He has not picked up any position, Seth, and on a track like this, he and Tyler Reddick have to be careful because if they don't go forward quickly, they could be lapped quickly.
Absolutely. You're exactly right about that, and that is a huge thing. Another thing I failed to mention earlier is if you are starting at the back, you've got to pick it up, get on your horse and giddy up, because it won't take long to get lapped if you don't go forward.
And again, Larson has not picked up a single spot after starting 30th. Tyler Reddick's actually gone backwards. He started 32nd. He runs 35th. At the front, Josh Berry attacking Chase Briscoe for the second position. Here goes the Wood Brothers Ford. He angles sharply to the bottom of turn 1, trying to get alongside Briscoe.
Said this last week, we'll say it again. Last 13 weeks of the year are our audition time for the Hendersonville, Tennessee native, not coming back to that 21 seat. Good drive here, though, as he battles Briscoe for second.
Richmond's been on the calendar for a long time, as I mentioned, so you would expect the Wood Brothers to have a lot of success here, Seth, but really, this legacy team at this legacy track, they've only won here twice, last time with Kyle Petty in 1986.
Yeah, and let's be honest, that one was gifted to him. As the TBS camera operator had a mare. It's Berry with the lead, or Berry to second now as he completed the pass on Chase Briscoe. Real quick, another driver who started up and has gone backwards, Austin Dillon, 20th last time by.
So Austin Dillon struggling here in the early going, the last two. The winner of the last 2 races here at Richmond. Yeah, Josh Berry for the Wood Brothers, number 21. Strong weekend so far. Of course, he had a good weekend at Iowa last week with a top 10 finish. We mentioned Petty's win here in February of 1986. That was with the Wood Brothers, but it was in a car number 7. Seth, only once has the 21 car won a cup race at Richmond. That was with Speedy Thompson in October of 1960.
I can just hear JT in your ear saying, ho. Look at Van Gisbergen run the high line to the outside of Todd Gilliland. So he's got it wound up. You mentioned his good weekend, won the pole and finished 4th in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series race that was held earlier today.
Yeah, so he is trying to make that high lane work and make his way through some traffic at the tail end of the field. 26th position for Van Gisbergen. That's still Seth ahead of Kyle Larson and Tyler Reddick, who still can't make their way through the traffic.
They still cannot. All 37 cars still on the lead lap for the time being. Van Gisbergen goes way up the track and leaves a lot of room open. He is really trying to slingshot and use that top line. I mean, he thinks he can load up runs tonight there. I think that's what I'm getting.
And it is a big night for Van Gisbergen, sitting 15th in the championship standings, trying to work his way into the chase. Further towards the front, Joe Gibbs' racing teammates nose to tail for third. Chase Briscoe has it. Ty Gibbs wants it.
Gibbs, our winner from a week ago, stalking Briscoe for that number 3 position as they go down the back straightaway. It is Briscoe slightly ahead of Gibbs on the approach to turn 3. Briscoe will stay in front of him for now. You're not missing anything at the front. Blaney's lead on Barry is just north of a second.
Good run of races for Chase Briscoe. As I mentioned earlier, he's been 6th or better in 5 of the last 6 races. Of course, knocked down his first win of the year on the 4th of July weekend at Chicagoland. Ryan Blaney leads, 20 laps complete. Let's pick up a battle further back, Seth, heading to 3.
Yeah, Christopher Bell taking the 7th spot away from Ryan Preece on the approach to turn 3. Joey Logano not too far back of these two.
Those are 2 threats to win tonight. Really, it's 3 threats to win tonight. Bell, Preece, and Logano. Logano twice a Richmond winner. He's to the outside of Ryan Preece in turn 1.
So 8th place, the battle now. Good inside drive by Preece. Oh, Logano, though, gets a great run off of turn number 2, and that will allow him to complete the pass on Preece. So move Logano up to the 8th position. Preece drops back to 9th.
Now, you may have seen in our race analysis earlier, and I'll flash it on screen one more time for you, the fuel window here is pretty hefty around this 3/4 of a mile racetrack. You can go well over 120 laps on a tank of fuel. But as we seen last year, even though this first stage is only 70 laps, we may very well see green flag pit stops in this stage if it does run green, because the tire degradation is so high here. Crew chiefs really did split this stage in half a year ago, Seth, even though it's only 70 laps, which is really just over half of a fuel run.
Yep, strategy very, very important. Further back in the pack, outside the top 10, 2 of the bigger names in our sport having a battle, Denny Hamlin and Chase Elliott.
Denny Hamlin, a 5-time Richmond winner. He's got the colorful Bob's Furniture colors on the 11. In fact, teal on the 11, teal on the 9 of Chase Elliott, who's just behind him.
Yep. So here is Logano, and I tell you, that 22 might be going somewhere. He just passed Brad Keselowski to gain the 7th position, so the 22 looks to have it somewhat dialed in early on.
Twice a winner here at Richmond. Joey Logano did it in the spring of 2014. What a race that was. And then again in the spring of 2017. He is up into the 6th position. Ryan Blaney leads by a 2.25 on Josh Berry. Those were the 2 that finished 1st and 2nd at New Hampshire last year. That's where we head next week. Seth is right about the Shane Van Gisbergen car. That 97 car on both ends of the racetrack. He is going way, way up. He's going all the way beyond the hash marks in the 3rd lane. So Van Gisbergen, who's had 250 laps on this track today in the truck race, he is trying to use a very different line to everyone else, Seth. Is it working for him? Well, maybe not. He's just 27th.
Yeah, he's going to wind up at the Siegel Center if he's not careful.
Very good.
But in all seriousness, you mentioned that spring 2014 race. Yeah, what a race. A dump, a bump, and a punch.
Yes, exactly right. Denny Hamlin, mentioned him just a moment ago. He's held off Chase Elliott. Now he looks dead ahead, and he's got cars side by side right in front of him. Ryan Preece to driver's right, William Byron to driver's left. Those 2 are side by side in front of Hamlin. They race to turn 1.
Great battle right here between Byron and Preece, with Hamlin are watching this battle. Preece has the slim advantage. Now here's Hamlin. He'll go inside of Byron, and he and Preece, they're going to make it 3 wide going into this number 3 corner. Wow, hello.
Hamlin shoehorned his way inside of Byron, and they come off of turn 4. They're still 3 wide. Preece up top, Byron in the middle, and Hamlin coming quickly on the bottom.
Still 3 wide, and Hamlin now on the bottom. He's going to pass Byron, and he's going to do all but past the Ryan Preece automobile. Here comes Denny Hamlin. He'll go inside of Ryan Preece. and he will make the pass. Matthew, what does he do?
Yeah, he does. Clear Priest on the exit of turn 4, so that's 2 spots in 2 laps for Hamlin. He's up to 8th, and he might not be done yet, Seth. He's on the back of the 6, as already pit stops. Joey Logano on pit road. We've only completed 30 laps, and Paul Wolfe has brought the 22 to pit road. Same can be said for Cliff Daniels and Kyle Larson. The blue, white, and red number 5 is in. He slid a bit deep into his box. Right side tires are off and on the HendrickCars.com Chevrolet. Sunoco Racing fuel going in. They don't need very much to make it to the end of this stage, but Larson is away, so not even, right on 30 laps into the race, Seth. Pit stops from Logano, Larson, Austin Cindric, Ryan Preece, Austin Dillon. That tells you what the crew chiefs think about the tire degradation at Richmond. The leader, Ryan Blaney, is in this lap. So too is Tyler Reddick, Seth.
Right side tires going on at blue and white Pinnacle Toyota. They're done there. Now they'll go over to the left side. They'll fill it up with Sunoco fuel, 4 tires, gasoline, and back on the road. Matthew.
Eric Jones on pit road exiting as leader Ryan Blaney to the number 1 pit stall. Right sides are already off and on. They swing to the left sides. Sunoco Racing fuel going in. Blaney drop of the jack. He's away in the number 2 pit stall just behind him. Brad Keselowski's in this lap. Josh Berry had assumed the lead, Seth. Now he's in.
They go to the right side of that Wood Brothers 21 machine. Oh, somebody's lost a tire. Somebody's lost a tire in the pit lane because Denny Hamlin nearly hit it. He comes into his pit stall. Barry's down and away. Matthew, the rest of the Hamlin stop.
Left side jacked up on the Bob's Discount Furniture Toyota. Left side's bolted on. Drop of the jack. Hamlin is away. Darrell Wallace Jr. has now been given the lead through the pit stop cycle. Ty Gibbs and Ryan Preece make that Chris Buescher on pit road this lap. Last week's Iowa winner Gibbs. He's got an open pit box into the garage in front of him, so it'll be a clean exit for the Victory Junction Cookout Toyota. Service complete on the 54 team with Tyler Allen as the crew chief. Gibbs is away. Shane Van Gisbergen is in. Carson Hocevar is in. Christopher Bell is in. Now William Byron hits pit road. Feeding time at the zoo, Seth.
That red, white, and blue, number 24 comes in. Right sides go on that William Byron machine. Now they go to the left sides, and Matthew, we don't need to tell each other this. 24 car has a bit of a checkered history at this racetrack.
Well, it sure does. Jeff Gordon twice a winner here, but he finished second here a ton, and then on a few occasions, he was just dumped. Austin Hill on pit road, Seth, in replay to us. He was the one that had the loose wheel. That'll be a penalty to the Richard Childress Racing number 33 team. There is a Kyle Busch insignia on the hood of this 33 car this weekend. Obviously, a very emotional weekend for the team, as everyone is. Oh, and Ty Gibbs is back on pit road. Oh, my goodness. Last week's Iowa winner, second in the championship, on pit road for a second time for what I can only assume is a pit road penalty.
I wonder if it was the way they're zooming in. I wonder if it was a commitment line. This is a tough commitment line to get into.
It is a speeding penalty, speeding on entrance for Gibbs, and they have adjusted the
hey, Bill, how many loops, Bill?
Yeah, the timing loop, 17 of them on pit road, and they have adjusted that this year, and Ty Gibbs has been caught for speeding. Remember, wasn't the cleanest of weekends on pit road for Ty last week. Came back to win, but this is a green flag speeding penalty here, Seth. Yeah, and he came off the apron and just lost the rear of the car a bit, and while trying to correct it to keep from crashing, didn't get the tachometer where it needed to be.
So, tough break for the 54, and it's that new location of pit entrance, so that's going to make things very difficult. So another layer you can add into the mixer on this one.
Yep. So,
something I was gonna say, but I guess it kind of fell dead when everybody else did. I was gonna use my sarcastic way and say, now Matthew, you mean to tell me Paul Wolfe and Penske decided to start something on pit road?
Yes.
Never seen that before.
No.
And then everybody else followed suit. Somebody has to be the guinea pig and lead, so much obliged, says Paul and Joey.
And the pit stop cycle has been completed. I mean, we go through a lot of races on weekends where the green flag pit stop cycle, could last 10 minutes from the time the first car pits to the last car, but this was done in a hurry and a flurry. Ryan Blaney has retaken the lead. Chase Briscoe has moved up to second, and by being the first car to get to pit road and bolt on fresh tires, Seth, that 22 car has jumped in the order. He's up to third.
Real quick, well, I was about to give you the top 10, but there's a battle for third. Josh Berry's going to make a pass on a Joey Logano. So let's reset the top 10 on lap 43. It's Ryan Blaney from Chase Briscoe, Josh Berry, Joey Logano, Austin Cindric, Denny Hamlin, Ryan Preece, Christopher Bell, Bubba Wallace, and Brad Keselowski.
That is through 42 of 70 laps in Stage 1, a 400-lap race, one green flag pit stop cycle completed in the Cookout 400. You mentioned the 24 car here at Richmond. One of Ray Evernham's favorite lines is that Jeff Gordon really didn't have a lot of second-place finishes in his career, because if you got him towards the front, if you could get him to second, he would normally go on and win the race. That may have been true, and it was, but Richmond was the exception to that rule, Seth. Jeff Gordon had 10 top 2 finishes at Richmond, but only 2 wins. So you can do the math. 8 runner-up finishes for Gordon here at Richmond. Perhaps the most famous of those runner-up finishes at Richmond came in the September race here in 2012, when his car was awful for the first half of the race as he was trying to race his way into the chase. Car was awful, fell a lap down. Alan Gustafson kept tuning on it. He nearly won that race. If it was a couple laps longer, Clint Boyer, he would have either run down Boyer or Boyer would have run out of fuel, and Gordon would have won that race with a car that was junk. Was running as far back as 28th under green in the first half of that race.
You and I can talk about this. There have been races where Jeff Gordon has ran better, has had a better car, and he just put the belt out. That was one of the hardest and most heroic drives of his Hall of Fame career that night, because of everything on the line and how bad it was. To will that to second, that's right up there with his second-place finish in the Fall Charlotte race in 2004, if you ask me.
Yeah, of course, he and Vince Welch had a moment on pit road during a rain delay in that race. That one of the angriest moments I've ever seen from Jeff Gordon.
Let's see, that was 11 ago. Give it 9 weeks, you'll see an angrier one.
Oh, well, yeah, exactly. But yeah, he was not happy with Vince Welch finding him during that rain delay right after he climbed out of the car, and yeah, was not pleased. Anyway, that's a step down memory lane for us, which we do quite often around here, especially when it involves Jeff Gordon. The 2-time Richmond winner, he won here in March of 1996 and then in September of 2000. 24 car now, driven by William Byron. He has backslid since the green flag pit stop cycle. He's back to 14th. Is Byron, the regular season champion from a year ago, is still winless in 2026. Austin Cindric, big mover, Seth. In fact, the biggest mover so far. Remember, all 3 Penske cars finished top 5 in this race a year ago. Would you look at it? All 3 of them are in the top 5 tonight. So too is their satellite teammate, the 21 of the Wood Brothers team.
Yeah, so at least it's good to see that something Penske related has its wheels on straight.
Ooh.
We'll touch on that later on in the program. But, and you mentioned Cindric. Speaking of working like all heck, Cindric did that last year in this race.
Yeah. And of course,
32 cars on the lead lap. Ty Dillon's the first car a lap down. Now Carson Hocevar is now the last one on the lead lap because Todd Gilliland just passed him.
And the cars off the lead lap include Dillon, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Cody Ware, Austin Hill, and Josh Bilicki, as you see on your screen. Ty Gibbs, I was mistaken earlier when I said that he fell off the lead lap. Despite that pass-through penalty, 54 was just able to stay on the lead lap, as you see on your screens, in 29th.
Well, I can help clean up a little bit that for you, because I don't know what you were talking about, but during one of those hits, he passed Ryan Blaney, so he was able to pass Ryan Blaney and get his lap back that way. That was probably about 8 to 10 laps ago he was able to do that. So
truly what that means is I actually was not wrong. And Seth has gotten me off the hook, because if I'm ever wrong, I don't want to be right.
was going to say, that's what friends are for.
Yes, exactly. So
You don't get it wrong often, but I'm here to help you when you get in the rare instance that you do.
very good. That's we work well together. Just past the 50 lap mark here at Richmond. Again, this first stage 70 laps. The second stage will be 120 laps. So we'll have a totally different second stage than we've had in the first, but we're towards the end of stage number 1. Ryan Blaney, as you see on your screens, a lead of about a second and a third on Chase Briscoe. If you are new to the channel here on USN, you're just twisting us in, you like what you see, more importantly, you like what you hear, be sure to hit the like and the subscribe button, hit the notification bell to get notified anytime we go live. We've got live streams of just about every sport you could possibly imagine. NASCAR, IndyCar, tennis, and then, of course, as we go on in the next few weeks, a lot of football, college and professional football. Then, before you know it, it'll be NHL season, NBA season, college basketball season. Well, the biggest events in sports, we have them here for live stream watch-alongs for you here on USN. And we'll give you more of our upcoming week schedule on the channel during the stage caution. That is only 14 laps away. Now, a reminder, if you weren't living in the NASCAR universe last week and missed the Iowa race on Sunday 6 days ago, there is a new rule in effect. If a caution were to come out with under 10 laps to go in a stage, the stage will automatically end, and the running order at the timing of caution is how we will award stage points, and then the extra laps will be then put on to the very next stage. We are just about to that 10 lap to go mark in this opening stage with a bunch of Fords at the front. Seth, Ford has struggled so much of this year, first half of the year, but they've been turning it around, and they've got 4 of the top 5 positions as we speak.
Holding right now, and being that we're close, I'll remind you the new rule that was put into effect for last week's race. If a caution comes out with 10 laps or 10 laps or less to go on the stage, that's the end of the stage.
So we will keep an eye on that as we're about to click off lap number 60. Seth mentioned Carson Hocevar has really had a rough weekend, and he had a rough weekend last week at Iowa, too. Had an alternator problem that hampered the 77. Here he is, Seth, with Ryan Blaney knocking on the back door. Hocevar might be about to go a lap down.
Unbelievable that he is about to go one lap down, and indeed, Blaney's going to go to the outside of him, or try to go to the outside of him, and put Hocevar one lap down. Zane Smith right up in there, too.
You know, Carson Hocevar's best friend, Zane Smith.
Oh, yes! Yes.
Blaney around the outside of Hocevar will put him a lap down. He'll try to do the same to the Aaron's Dream Machine driven by Zane Smith.
So the battle rages on, and Blaney's going to be in front of Smith, is he? Yes, so Blaney has lapped both Hocevar and Smith. Smith now Hocevar. This is going to be interesting, battling for the free pass between these two. This could get spicy.
Yeah, it very well could. And while Blaney has had to maneuver through traffic, Seth, Chase Briscoe has cut the deficit down to under 0.7 of a second.
Yeah, so he might be able to steal a stage win right here. Wouldn't that be something? Here is Smith to the inside of Hocevar. Briscoe's got to try and find someone in line. Meanwhile, Blaney gives Todd Gilliland the heave-ho, and it might make that Smith Hocevar battle irrelevant.
Yeah, Gilliland very loose off turn 4. Blaney will get around him. Meanwhile, Briscoe tries to thread the needle between Smith and Hocevar.
He does try to thread the needle, and just about did. Now Briscoe going to get right in behind Carson Hocevar, and he'll go to the inside. So Briscoe will now go by that slow 77. There's a team. Like I said, there's a team that has missed the setup here tonight.
Yeah, they'd like to get away from the short track season here, Hocevar. Terrible last week, terrible so far here tonight.
Absolutely. It's been a nightmare. And meanwhile, Blaney about to put a lap on the newly extended Noah Gregson. And going back a minute ago, boy, Briscoe was coming. Oh, this was the bump I mentioned. Excuse me, Todd. I've got somewhere to be.
Yeah, Blaney saw that 19 getting closer and closer to him in the rearview mirror, and he started to lose a bit of patience. He has gapped Briscoe a bit now. It's back up to 1 second, but now cars are racing side by side in front of the race leader. Blaney goes to turn 3 on the bottom. In front of him, Noah Gregson and A.J. Allmendinger are side by side. Blaney mashes the accelerator, gets alongside Allmendinger, but that was a tight squeeze, and once again, Briscoe closes in.
Briscoe to within 3 car lengths of Blaney, 3.5 laps to go in the stage in a knot of traffic. It's Blaney with the race lead still, but Briscoe now gets past Allmendinger. He'll cut the gap to 2 car lengths.
Blaney still behind the Long John Silver's Ford of Noah Gregson. He flashes across the line. 3 to go in the stage. Briscoe gets ever closer.
He does get ever closer. Whoa, Gillen and Allmendinger some contact right in front of Logano. They go up the racetrack. Briscoe remains a car length behind Blaney on the approach to the number 3 corner.
This has not been a good racetrack for Chase Briscoe in his career, but he might be about to steal a stage win. He and Blaney across the line. Briscoe trying to pull up alongside as they race to the corner with Noah Gregson dead ahead.
And now let's see how these leaders are going to approach Gregson. Blaney goes outside. Briscoe now in behind the Long John Silver's machine. Blaney's got the slim advantage. Briscoe about a car length back. Oh, good center corner there for Blaney. That allows him to gap him by a couple car lengths.
Comes across the line. Last lap of stage number 1. Blaney trying to get a stage win for a second week in a row, but Briscoe's still there.
Briscoe is still there. He's alongside Gregson, but that's going to allow Blaney to pull away and leg it out by about 2 car lengths. He won't quite get to the Cole Custer machine. Briscoe's finally going to clear Gregson, but he's not going to have enough to catch Blaney.
Off turn 4, green and white checkered flag waving. Ryan Blaney is the first one to it for the 6th time this year. Chase Briscoe is second, Joey Logano third, and a pass for 4th coming to the line. Austin Cindric eclipses Josh Berry. Rest of the points-paying positions go to Wallace, Hamlin, Bell, Elliott, and Byron. Stage 1, 70 laps, lean and green throughout. Ryan Blaney from the pole takes the opening stage here at the Richmond Raceway. Good stuff. But again, race changes completely from a 70-lap first stage now to a 160-lap second stage. Again, Matt White not with us as he, well, is never with us when the races are in prime time here in the States. He's prime time in only his homeland. American primetime races, yeah, not great for Matt. So we turn it over to Seth here at the end of stage 1 here. Seth, take it away on this day in racing history, our normal stage 1 caution segment. What do you got for us on this August 15th? Halfway through August, would you believe?
It seemed just yesterday we were ringing in the new year after the Miami-Ohio State game. And now it's August 15th. I mean, slow down time. That's all I've got. That's all I have to say. I feel like Larry Mack talking to Darian Grubb. Time! Slow down, buddy! Born on this day in 1958, happy birthday to Andy Petrie.
I believe it's legal once you turn a certain age.
Boy, born on this day in 1958 in Hickory, North Carolina, so happy birthday to him. Happy birthday to Sam Schmidt. He was born on this day in 1964. And born on this day in 1979, cousin Carl Edwards.
Hey, former Richmond winner.
Most recent Cup race on this day, oh boy. The Indy Road Course, 2021, the first year we did that, the Rand Newman race. The Verizon 200 at the Brickyard, a race won by A.J. Allmendinger. Briscoe up in Hamlin, yeah, that got beyond stupid.
Boy, that was rough.
On this day in 2020, Austin Cindric won the UNOH 188 at the Daytona Road Course. On this day in 2019, yours truly made his first visit to the Bristol Motor Speedway. He saw a doubleheader that night. Sam Mayer winning the K&N Pro Series East Busch Beans 150, and then the Trucks UNOH 200 won by Brett Moffitt. I cannot believe it's been 7 years since that maiden voyage to Bristol, Tennessee.
Brett Moffitt.
What happened to him, man?
Yeah, really.
On this day in 2015, Regan Smith used the bump and run on Alex Tagliani to win the Nationwide Children's Hospital 200 at Mid-Ohio.
God bless Regan, Alex Tagliani. He should have won a race or two in that series.
They're ready. I was going to say, sure they're not doubled up already. I know they wanted to clean up the lane. That was rather fast.
Pit road is open. We'll cover some pit stops here, and we'll get back to Seth. Joey Logano, 4 tires and fuel. Slight wedge adjustment in the back window of that yellow and red number 22. Chase Briscoe into his pit stall. Second place finisher in stage 1. 4 tires and fuel for Briscoe. Ryan Blaney in the number 1 pit stall. The stage 1 winner is in, and it'll be the same for him. 4 tires and fuel. Let's see who wins the race off pit road. Will it be Blaney? It will, but it's a drag race for second. Austin Cindric and Chase Briscoe were just about dead even at the pit exit line. We'll reset the running order for you prior to the restart in a couple of moments. We will... Actually, I said Blaney. Woohoo! He just did. Wow! 3-wide photo to win the race off pit road. I believe it was Blaney from Briscoe from Cindric. Keep going, Seth.
On this day in 2011, Marcus Ambrose won the hell of a good sour cream dips at the Glen. We also saw a feud between Boris Said and Greg Biffle.
Boy, and what a grinding crash at the end of that race. Good God.
Yeah. On this day in 2009, the booth, including the birthday boy Petrie, went crazy on a analyst-only broadcast. Brad Keselowski stole a nationwide race from Kyle Busch and Brian Vickers, the Carfax 250 at Michigan.
Rusty Wallace, God almighty.
Two tires. Ah, you got me right there. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know it was the Kyle Busch show. This racetrack's playing wide. This racetrack's kind of hot and slick right now. Yeah, say right now 3 times in 9. Why don't you? On this day in 2004, correct me if I'm wrong, Matthew. Sirius at the Glen. It was won by Tony Stewart. Was that the race Stewart was sick, or was that another year?
What was the year again?
2004.
Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that happened.
I think Ron Fellows finished second in that race, in the 1 car.
On this day in 1999, Shakar, a road course race won by Jeffrey Michael Gordon. He won the Frontier at the Glen. On this day, the Virginia gentleman, Jimmy Hensley, won the Truck Series Federated Auto Parts 250 at Nashville, while Jeff Burton won the Busch race at Michigan. Let's see here.
Jeff Burton winning a Busch race at Michigan is a shock.
On this day in 1993, Mark Martin won the Cup Series Champion Spark Plug 400.
Batesville, Arkansas.
Yep. And the IROC ran its 4th race in 1992 at Michigan. It was won by Al Munzer Jr.
They're in Washington next week.
Yes. On this day in 1982, Rick Mears won the Cart Domino's Pizza Pocono 500.
Oh, my God. We were a proper society when Indy cars ran 500 miles at Pocono. Oh, my Lord.
Bobby Allison won the 1971 Yankee 400 at Michigan.
There's a name. What Yankee was it?
1971. It might have been Thurman Munson.
Might have been.
Thurman Munson waves the checkered flag. He has a half-foot window for Yogi Berra.
Maybe Michael Kay can go on a rant about people not coming to that Yankee old-timers day.
And finally, on this day in 1948, Johnny Mance won the AAA Champ Car Series Milwaukee 100 at the Milwaukee Mile.
Thank you, Seth. There is a new segment on USA called Diff Did You Know? With Lee Diffie. Oh, my Lord.
Oh, wow.
I wish we had the ability to turn that up. Wow. Look at him go. Upcoming schedule here on USN, as I frantically try to find the month of August. Here it is. Tomorrow morning, Seth, you go. You're on this. Well, actually, we're doubled up. Give us the soccer preview real quick, and then we'll go green.
Finally going to get into the Dutch Eredivisie with one of the big teams, Ajax, who've made some good signings this window, playing their second match against Heerenveen. That's Dutch football tomorrow. More soccer coming your way the next few during the week as well, with the Premier League starting next week, as well as some other fun goodies. Field is doubled up, as you mentioned.
We'll also have Cardinals and Cubs at 3 p.m. tomorrow from the friendly confines of Wrigley Field, which not every Cardinal fan loves or broadcaster. Toyota Camry pace car to pit road. Ryan Blaney and Chase Briscoe lead the field to green just as they did on the initial start. Stage 2 gets underway. Austin Cindric makes a dive to the inside of turn 1. Denny Hamlin tries to get underneath Cindric now, and they nearly make contact.
They do. Briscoe has the advantage, though. He's going to clear Blaney with a power move off of turn 2. It's Briscoe to the lead. First 3 single file. First side-by-side battle at 4th between Hamlin and Logano.
Oh.
And whoa, one car punts it, but getting punted up the hill. That's Bubba Wallace, who got a heave-ho from Josh Berry.
Now they're 3 wide with Ross Chastain underneath Berry and Wallace. Berry will back away. Wallace and Chastain will duel for position just inside the top 10.
They're almost 4 wide back there at the start-finish line that last time around. Still almost 4 wide. 3 wide for sure. Reddick's in the middle of that mess along with Dillon. 3 by 3, 2 rows back. Is this Richmond or Talladega?
You got Shane Van Gisbergen into the inside of his teammate Connor Zilic. Ty Gibbs below those two, making it 3 wide. Further up, more 3 wide racing. Across the track, Keselowski, Dillon, and Bowman.
Great racing. Whoa, Dillon throwing a block at Busher as he was going down to the inside. Busher now will try to make that move again. You got legacy teammates battling back there, Jones and Nemechek.
Restarts are wild everywhere we go, but especially at a track like this where fresh tires are they're worth their weight in gold, Seth. You've got to make the passes on these restarts however you can. Kyle Larson shooting 4 wide further back.
Oh, no real surprise there to see Larson try and be aggressive. And let's have a look. This is another look. See, this is the Berry got loose, and then I don't think it was an intentional heave-ho. It was just Berry got loose, and Bubba's car happened to be to his right.
Yeah, and Wallace went way up the hill. Only lost, I think, maybe 2 positions. Yeah, William Byron and Ryan Preece got around him. Chase Briscoe, by the way, is clear to the lead. He and Blaney, who dueled side by side for the first 10 laps of the race from the initial start. Briscoe's cleared him off this restart, so it's Briscoe away with the lead, but Blaney is hot to trot on his back bumper as they race to the back straightaway.
Yeah, car length separating Briscoe and Blaney as they approach turn number 3. Meanwhile, two of the big names battling for the 4th position. It's Hamlin and Logano.
7 combined. Richmond wins in that duo. Logano to driver's right. Hamlin to his left elbow will dive hard on the brakes on the approach to turn 1, but he can't get rid of Logano that easily.
No, he can't. Logano is giving him a battle, that is for sure. They continue to go side by side on the approach to turn number 3. Logano and Hamlin still side by side. Give the edge to Logano.
Logano out in front across the line. Hamlin comes right back at him as they race back to the corner.
Rages on as they work their way again. 4th place is the battle. That battle for the lead isn't too lopsided, but the big battle is at 4th. Hamlin inside of Logano through 3 and 4.
Joey Logano started the night 13th in the championship standings. In the live standings, he's up to 12th. Meanwhile, Denny Hamlin, the championship leader, would now have Ryan Blaney behind him 2nd, but of course there's still a long way to go in this one tonight.
Still a long way to go indeed. Back straight away the battle. Hamlin inside. Logano outside on the approach to turn number 3. Logano with a slim advantage. Hamlin, though, fights back bottom.
Ryan Blaney continues to race only about a car length and a half off the back bumper of race leader Chase Briscoe, but the battle for 4th is too good to keep your eyes off of. Hamlin alongside Logano, they're in 2.
Logano on the outside. His car gets pretty good traction coming off that number 2 corner, and it's going to be enough to clear him for now. Hamlin will try and fight back. He gets to the door panel, but you would give it to Logano by a skosh.
Logano's forward in front as he uses a good run around the top. Further back, Tyler Reddick picking up a position. He gets by Christopher Bell. Reddick picked up a lot of spots during the green flag pit stop cycle, Seth, because he wasn't passing a lot of cars actually on the racetrack, but he's made his way into the top 15 from 32nd on the grid.
Yeah, battling Christopher Bell for the 11th position. And by the way, Logano and Hamlin, despite the side-by-side, Austin Cindric has not gotten that far away from them. And conversely, Cindric has kind of caught the top two, so we could have 5 under a blanket here. Speaking of, there's another 2014 spring race segue.
Yeah, that's exactly right. This Logano and Hamlin battle, the double numbers, 11 and 22, they continue to joust for this fourth position. Logano again loads up a run around the top. His nose ahead of Hamlin's as they come across the line and go back to one.
Logano does have the advantage for now. Hamlin inside. We'll see if Logano gets that traction off turn 2 on the outside like he's been getting. Answer yes. Just ahead of Hamlin. Hamlin into turn number 3. Goes back to the inside. Better on the corner entry, but still Logano has the edge. He'll try to clear him off the fourth corner.
Really entertaining battle. Logano has cleared Hamlin, but Hamlin might try again to shoot it down the inside of turn 1. But this is a really entertaining battle between two of the best over the last decade plus of Denny Hamlin's side. The last couple of decades in the Cup Series. There was contact a moment ago between those two in turn number 2 as Logano has finally made the pass on Hamlin. So Logano secures fourth. Hamlin will have to try again.
So Logano fourth, Briscoe the leader, Blaney second, Cindric third, Logano fourth, Hamlin fifth, William Byron is sixth. You see the score on your left-hand screen, but you're not going to get the radio out of us. Ryan Preece is seventh, eighth, Bubba Wallace, ninth, Josh Berry, and Ross Chastain has now worked his way into the top 10.
Such a good run for Chastain last week at Iowa as he's trying to make his way into the chase. Started this race 47 points below the cut line, but really last week at Iowa, Seth, was one of the best weekend start to finish that one team has put together all year long.
Absolutely, and what a time to get it, too. What a time to do that, too. At the almost perfect time you needed that to happen. So, we'll see if they can build off of that. But good racing so far. I know some people will find a way to do it, but hard to find anything to complain about, especially that Logano and Hamlin battle. I mean, my goodness, are you not entertained?
Yeah, this has been really good stuff through the first nearly 100 laps of this 400-lap race. Again, Stage 2 will take on a much different feel than Stage 1 did, just because Stage 1, 70 laps, Stage 2, 160. Chase Briscoe at the front of this field. As I said earlier, it has not been the best of racetracks for Briscoe, but trying to change things with this 19 car because, of course, remember, when it was Martin Truex Jr. and James Small, when they rolled into Richmond in that 19 car, boy, they were good every single time. But Briscoe in 9 starts at Richmond, Seth, has never finished inside the top 10, but he leads right now.
Indeed he does, which is hard to believe, given that his short track nature and a track he's won at Iowa for in Grand National. You'd think he would be decent, at least decent on a track like this, but finishes just haven't been there.
But trying to turn it around tonight in that Bass Pro Shops Toyota. By the way, William Byron, after the green flag pit stop cycle in Stage 1, he dropped all the way back to 14th. He was able to climb up to 10th and get a stage point, and now he's jumped up to 6th here on the start of Stage 2. So Byron, who started 5th, slipped all the way back to 14th. He's just about back to where he started, running in the 6th position. You can also see timing and scoring on your screen. 28 cars on the lead lap. Austin Hill and Carson Hocevar are currently in a battle for the free pass spot. Remember, Hocevar, he came into Iowa last week 5th in points. If points were awarded right now, he would be all the way back in 9th. Chase Briscoe across the line. His lead on Ryan Blaney, Seth, 2 car lengths. They're in 1.
Yeah, 2 car lengths still the separation between Briscoe and Blaney as they head down the back straightaway. So Chase Briscoe continuing to show the way and show good pace in that Bass Pro Shops 19.
So when will crew chiefs call their drivers to pit road this stage? Because it was about the 30-lap mark when we saw pit road become busy in Stage 1, but that was in a 70-lap stage. We're currently working lap 32 of this stage. Now, not all of those 32 have been under the green, but with it being a 160-lap segment, let's see when crew chiefs will bring their cars to pit road this time around. Chase Briscoe, shallow entry up off of turn 4. Blaney winds it up around the top. They go back to the corner set that's still tight, only a few yards separating the 19 and the 12.
Yeah, not a whole lot there. Not a whole lot separating those two. It's about a car length and a half as they work their way to turn number 3. Briscoe keeps his car on the bottom, so too does Blaney.
Austin Cindric, the third-place runner, about a second and a half in back of the 2 leaders, who come across the line and go back to 1 with the sun setting in Richmond.
Well, Blaney tried to he was trying to arc it there and set up a run. It worked for him. He gets right to the bumper of Briscoe down the back straightaway, but can't get any closer with it. It's still Briscoe by a car length.
Very colorful number 12 for Ryan Blaney. Body armor sponsorship on the 12 car. Last time he had body armor sponsorship, Seth, he won a thrilling race in Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah, absolutely. Back in the summer, and it was a race that had weather issues too. Almost 24 hours of Atlanta. What a night! That was a weekend where our friend JT was talking about being a NASCAR fan at late hours, which even got a shout out from Jeff Gluck. Battle for the lead, main straightaway.
Ryan Blaney has opened up the door to the inside of Chase Briscoe. They go to turn 1.
Blaney just couldn't quite get there, but Briscoe is able to stay in front as they go down the back straight. They do have a slow car ahead of them. It is Briscoe by a scotch over Blaney. Here's Blaney going inside. We mentioned you can get a run and maybe hit someone in 3. He almost hit Briscoe there.
Blaney to the inside of Briscoe across the line. Briscoe with a nose out in front looks to his left, and Ryan Blaney says, you want to play a game of horsepower? I'll play.
Here he comes. Blaney to the inside. Briscoe fights back though on the high side. Dead even through turns 3 and 4. It's Briscoe by a scotch over Blaney. Blaney fighting back inside.
This is what the first 10 laps of this race looked like with Blaney and Briscoe elbow to elbow. Blaney's got a nose in front, but no more than that as they go back to 1.
Raging on now, Blaney with a good second corner is going to get clear. Ryan Blaney is cleared to lead at Richmond on lap 108.
So Ryan Blaney to the front, lap traffic being run down by these 2 leaders. Josh Balicki, the road racing instructor from Menominee Falls, Wisconsin, just ahead. Blaney will get around him on the approach to turn 1. So Ryan Blaney goes to the lead. Perhaps the best car here at the Richmond Raceway belongs to High Point, North Carolina's Ryan Blaney. In the comments, I wish I was a little bit taller. 5169 says, can we get Christopher Bell interested? I do have to say, I'm surprised that we haven't seen more of that DeWalt number 20 at the front to this point, Seth. He runs 12th right now. He's 9 seconds off the lead.
Yeah, so that is interesting. That he has not had the kind of car that you would expect, kind of performance you'd expect. You expect him to be right up in the mix, but that has not been the case. So still a ways to go, though, but they really need to get working, or maybe they've got something for when the track gets a little darker and just that little bit cooler. Who knows? But right now, Ryan Blaney continuing to show the way at Richmond.
And, of course, this is normally target-rich environment for that 20 team in Christopher Bell. He loves these shorter, flatter racetracks. He was second here in 2022, but last year he did not lead and finished 21st in this race. Currently runs 12th, coming off of his 7th runner-up finish of the year last week at Iowa. He will be the favorite when we go to Loudon, New Hampshire next week, Seth. He loves that track in New England. He was, of course, supposed to run the truck race here at Richmond this weekend. Because it got postponed to today, I'm assuming Joe Gibbs Racing didn't want him running 250 laps of a truck race the same day as the Cup race, so he jumped out of the Halmar Friesen truck, so he's going to be in it next week at New Hampshire. To which that I say, good luck to everyone else in that race.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better myself. I mean, we could be talking about a Bell sweep next week, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Still a ways to go in Richmond, VA tonight.
Ryan Blaney has jumped away from Chase Briscoe by over 1 second. Hey, here's Bell making a move, Seth, perhaps trying to take over 11th.
Yeah, Chastain has the spot. Bell wants it. Bell goes outside of Chastain. Chastain stays on the back straightaway. Here is Bell staying on the high side of the racetrack. Now I know what I wanted to say a minute ago. I mentioned friends earlier. Shout out to our friend and former colleague Daryl Kinsey Jr. He and his wife are at this race tonight.
Yes. The newlyweds are there here at Richmond. as Bell's going to try to make this pass on Ross Chastain. See, that's normally what happens, too. Anyone listening, if you want something to happen, just comment on it. We'll talk about it. And anytime we talk about something, it somehow magically pops on screen. So we talk about Christopher Bell, and all of a sudden, he's on our screen making a pass. He has passed Ross Chastain.
Christopher Bell's made a pass. Meanwhile, here is 3-wide action here. Ricky Stenhouse, Zane Smith, and Todd Gillen. It looks fun, but I'm not real sure why we're focused on it.
This is 31st, 32nd, and 33rd.
Again, it's fun. But it's like that meme. Looks difficult, but looks like it could be fun to fix.
They are running 3 wide, corner after corner. Cole Custer is trapped behind these 3. Custer is on the lead lap, while the 3 in front of him are not.
Yeah, I saw one car going down, one car coming out of the pits. It might have been a slower car, but I did see a car on the pit road. Stenhouse ahead of Gilliland. Now Smith right there. Well, he had to back up out of the throttle. Blaney now up by a second at the front. He is at turn 3. Just got around Ty Dillon.
Yes, finally the USA people in the truck said, you know this is for 31st, right? Anyhow, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. was a part of that battle. Tonight is his 25th Cup start here at the Richmond Raceway.
Time! Slow down, buddy!
Yes, exactly. Looks like some crews are starting to get ready on pit road. In fact, I just saw Austin Dillon go make a pass down pit road. So pit road set to become a busy place. Again, a 160-lap stage. Will be interesting to see how the crew chiefs want to call it. You could split it in half if you want to go 80 laps, but we didn't even come close to going 80 laps on these tires in that first stage. Ryan Blaney leads Chase Briscoe by a second, and pit road is open. Berlin, Connecticut's Ryan Preece on pit lane. Castrol colors, green, white, and red, number 60 is away. So too on pit road this lap is Cody Ware from Greensboro, North Carolina, about 5 hours south of Richmond. So mark that down. Lap 50, around lap 50, is when we started seeing some lead lap cars come to pit road. Ryan Blaney stays on the racetrack, and off turn 4 he puts a second lap on the Aaron's number 38 of Zane Smith. So we'll see how quickly they come down pit road this time, Seth, because remember, when Joey Logano pitted on lap 30 of stage 1, it was, as we called it, feeding time at the zoo. Here's Ty Gibbs.
Yeah, that multicolored Victory Junction gang number 54 machine is coming down the pit road. Victory Junction camp, and now here he goes. So Gibbs is in, comes to a stop in front of his crew. Right side tires going on that 54 car. Done there. Now they go to the left side. They'll fill it up with, they'll put a little bit of Sunoco fuel in there, a little splash. Someone fell on his keister and we're down and away.
Perhaps it was Jackson Gibbs, the former Appalachian State football player. Gibbs is away. Leaders, Blaney, Briscoe, and Cindric. The top 3 stay out another lap. I wish I was a little bit taller, by the way. I said, thank you. We'll try to conjure up another bell pass for you in a moment. Johnny 7914 says 45 in 10th. Yeah, Reddick has cracked the top 10. Now his teammate is on pit road. That's the Xfinity colors driven by Darrell Wallace Jr.
Mobile, Alabama native brings that purple Xfinity car into the pits, or dark blue. I don't know what you would call it. I would call it purple, but there might be a technical name for it. Anyway, here we go. Right, they have a tear off the windshield. They're into the right side of that machine. Now they go to the left side. Here's Josh Berry. Owens!
Berry on pit road, comes to a stop right on his marks. Red and white, classic colors of the Wood Brothers. Right side's off and on. They'll swing to the left side in a crash on the racetrack, Seth.
Zane Smith has spun on the back straightaway, and the caution is out as these guys are on pit road. A single car incident on the back straightaway as Zane Smith has looped the Aaron's Ford. Looks like he might have made some slight contact with the wall. Smith is trying to get it refired. He has got it refired. He's trying to make sure it's clear before he can go down there. And, he just lost it going into turn 2. He just lost the car, and, he did hit the wall.
Well,
maybe a kiss and a half there on that 38. So single car incident by Zane Smith. First caution for incident tonight at Richmond as Zane Smith finds trouble.
Comes at the 125 lap mark of the Cookout 400, and what a dramatic time for this caution to come out in the middle of green flag pit stops, and we'll see who will get trapped a lap down. We had not seen a lot of the leaders, Blaney, Briscoe, Cindric, Logano, Hamlin. They had not come down pit road. While others were on pit road, we were calling the stops of Tyler Reddick and Josh Berry right when the yellow came out. So we're under caution. Second time, first time for incident, as we mentioned. And this is, well, look at this, Seth. Chase Briscoe is ahead of Ryan Blaney on the racetrack. Okay.
It's interesting.
Zane Smith has made it back to pit road. So apparently we had a change for the lead while we were calling pit stops, because Briscoe is ahead of Blaney. So Chase Briscoe, the leader, as the yellow flies. And again, becomes a bit of a mess when you've got green flag pit stops right in the middle of a stop cycle and the yellow comes out. And a lot of these guys that are a lap down, they're going to have to take the wave around here. So we'll see how it all plays out. Everyone from 16th on down on your screen, so from Josh Berry on down, that is a lap down, had come to pit road. Pit road is now open here. Joey Logano, the first of the leaders to hit his box, Seth.
Logano brings that Shell Pennzoil 4 down pit road. Going to be a 4-tire stop. 4 tires, fuel and adjustments you would imagine would be the norm. Logano, very quick stop for the Shell Pennzoil team. Down and away. Briscoe, Matt.
Briscoe, right side tires on the Brass Pro Shops Toyota. Over to the left sides they go. Also Ryan Blaney into the number 1 pit stall. Not so busy of a pit road with only 15 cars on the lead lap. Blaney's service is done. Briscoe's going to win the race off of pit road, followed by Blaney, Logano, and Hamlin, who came out in a wad. Austin Cindric has lost spots on pit road. William Byron has gotten out ahead of him. The race off of pit road won by Chase Briscoe, who had just taken the lead from Ryan Blaney, Seth, as the yellow came out. He had just passed him in the middle of turns 3 and 4 when the yellow lights came on.
There you go. Mitchell, Indiana driver back to P1 as we work lap 129. As Matthew mentioned, next weekend our NASCAR coverage comes to you from the Granite State. Penultimate race of the regular season at New Hampshire. Should be an exciting one next weekend.
It's going to be an exciting one for my mother, only because it's the Dollar Tree 301.
Oh, your mother's a Dollar Tree fan,
oh,
is she?
Listen. Accents by Samantha lives at the Dollar Tree.
Noted.
All kinds of videos and posts about the Dollar Tree. Tomorrow on our sister station, JB Motorsports, they hope to bring you the Ontario Honda Dealers Indy at Markham.
They did get qualifying in. Lewis Foster's on the pole.
Wow. Oh, my goodness. How good for it. Louis Foster on pole. Well, expect the unexpected, especially this weekend at this track. Good gracious.
So maybe we'll have a championship fight after all. Polo has a couple of bad finishes this week and then next week at Washington, D.C.
Yes. So, JBM. JBM tomorrow at noon for the IndyCar race at Markham. Now, I mind you that we came into the weekend and that racetrack had not been properly prepared, to turn a phrase. This is a track they have known for a long time that Markham would host a street race this time of year. They knew that they would not be racing in the streets of Toronto the way they normally do. They cited challenges for the Toronto race because of Toronto being a World Cup host city. That's why they went to Markham.
A month and a half ago. What the hell difference that made?
So they did not think that a month and a half was long enough to prepare the streets of Toronto. But how ironic it is that nearly a full 12 months has not turned out to be enough time for the streets of Markham to be prepared. My new saying, hashtag that's so IndyCar.
And I would say it's a pretty darn good hashtag.
Goodness gracious. Holy smokes. By the way, if you're listening to us but you've got the race on USA, after the race is over on USA, it's episode 2 of NASCAR Americana, this NASCAR docu-series on USA. Episode 1 was last week. It was fabulous. It is through just one episode, one of the best NASCAR docu-series that I've already seen. And you know why it is? It's because it's not Earnhardt-centric. Stunning, I know, that there can be NASCAR content for a TV show that doesn't revolve around an Earnhardt. Now that we've lost half our viewership, green flag up in the air, and we're back underway with Chase Briscoe on the front row, Joey Logano alongside, and Briscoe's got the whole shot to turn 1. Ross Chastain slingshots around the top of a couple of cars.
Yeah, 3 wide, a little further back, but it's Briscoe clear to the lead. Blaney and Logano, Penske teammates, battle for second. Logano's going to clear up on the high side of the racetrack. Blaney third. Hamlin and Byron battle for fourth.
Briscoe leads off the restart. It's a Penske battle for second. Ryan Blaney to the inside of teammate Joey Logano.
Two Penske cars continue to battle. Briscoe has legged it out by about 3 car lengths. Now, Logano is going to get clear of Blaney for second place. Blaney almost hits Logano.
Not as much 3-wide racing on this restart as we had on the last one, but it's 2x2 just about everywhere behind the leader, Briscoe.
Indeed it is. Cindric and Chastain now battle side by side. Ooh, Byron, nice crossover. Does a switcheroo on Hamlin. Hamlin now fighting back with Byron. And again, the two Penske cars make contact. Riley Herbst gets loose and runs into Alex Bowman, but both cars keep it pointed straight.
Good save by both Herbst and Bowman. Bowman gets away just about unscathed. Just behind that is Christopher Bell and Daniel Suarez, and Kyle Larson harpoons Carson Hocevar up the track.
Well, it's getting dicey throughout the mid-pack. This mid-pack racing's on a restart is not for the faint of heart. Larson now clear of Gregson, and you got Barry and Gilliland side by side. Barry trapped.
Yeah, Barry backslid in the running order because, of course, he made a pit stop under green before the caution came out. He did take the wave around and is back on the lead lap.
Yeah, Ryan Preece did the same, I do believe. Battle for second continuing at a hot and heavy between the Penske teammates. Logano outside has the spot.
Up off of turn number 4, Logano a nose in front of Blaney, and as these two teammates squabble, Chase Briscoe is getting smaller out the windshield.
Indeed, Logano is going to clear him this time, yes. So move Logano clear all the way to second now. Blaney back to third. Logano drifts up just a little bit, though.
Ryan Blaney in third. That's the furthest back we've seen him tonight. The Stage 1 winner, Denny Hamlin, is closing back in on those two.
Hamlin is closing in on those two as they go out of turn number 2 and head towards that back straightaway. Chase Briscoe has nearly legged it out to a full second over the Joey Logano machine, and Hamlin got run on Blaney in 4.
Yeah, Hamlin is closing in on the Penske duo just ahead of him. They flash across the stripe. We're about halfway through the stage, lap 70 of 160.
Indeed we are, as the racing continues on here at the Richmond Raceway. Denny Hamlin trying to stalk Ryan Blaney. That is for third. And again, just not close enough there.
So all of the drivers that did get trapped a lap down because they pitted under green before the caution came out, all of those guys did take the wave around and are back on the lead lap. There's 27 cars on the lead lap as we currently run.
27 on the leader lap. And again, Chase Briscoe leading the pack. things have kind of settled down. Eric Jones into the top 10. First time we've called his name since the starting grid, I believe.
And he needs good runs. Of course, he crashed out with Tyler Reddick early in the race at Iowa last week. It's been a tough spell for Jones, who is still part of the chase picture, but he came in tonight 50 points below the cut line. But as Seth rightly mentions, that Dollar Tree Toyota is up into the top 10. Let's pick up Tyler Reddick. He was one of the cars that had come down pit road under green before that caution came out. Now, the trouble with taking the wave around, Seth, is that you have to restart behind everyone, the lead lap and the lap down cars. So everyone that had to take that wave around, like Reddick, like Barry, they had to start all the way at the back. That's a lot of lost track position for those cars. So Reddick trying to get his way around the likes of Carson Hocevar and other cars that are still a lap down.
I know they were focused on Herbst and Bowman, but I think you got your explanation as to why Larson harpooned Hocevar in turn one.
Yeah.
Because Hocevar took a pretty good lunge at him going into 3 on the previous time they were there.
Hocevar struggling for the second weekend in a row. He currently is in the free pass spot back in 28th. Here's Chris Buescher. Seth mentioned earlier tonight a former Richmond winner. He's running in the 18th spot. He's got Darrell Wallace Jr. right behind him. Also there is Cole Custer, who is off the lead lap.
And the battle is raging on here between Wallace and Buescher. 60 seconds or so, Ken Squire, 88.
So Chris Buescher and Darrell Wallace Jr. battle for position. Wallace has that spot now, taking 18th away from the RFK number 17. Chase Briscoe by a second and a half up on Joey Logano. Ryan Blaney has held off Denny Hamlin for now at third. William Byron has snuck his way into the top 5. Seth mentioned New Hampshire coming up for us next week for the Cup Series, and then we'll be back on a Saturday night on August 29th from world-famous Daytona Beach and the Daytona International Speedway for the Coke Zero Sugar 400, the race to make the chase on the high banks of Daytona. We'll be with you 2 weeks from tonight for that one. We talked about Reddick and Barry being the highest running cars that had to take the wave around under that yellow. They are now side by side. They come across the line. Reddick on the outside, Barry to his left. They are currently battling for the 14th position, but they're behind a couple of Spire cars. Carson Hocevar and Daniel Suarez are side by side in front of those two, with only Suarez on the lead lap. Mentioned William Byron had gotten into the top 5. He's just lost that 5th position. Austin Cindric gets around him. So that puts Cindric back into a top 5 running position. You see the running order on your screen, just about halfway home in this 160-lap second stage. We're about 50 laps shy of the halfway point of the race, the Cookout 400. Still Tyler Reddick and Josh Berry dueling for the 14th position. Daniel Suarez is just ahead of them in 13th. And also Suarez still running wheel-to-wheel with his teammate Carson Hocevar, who is off the lead lap. Behind the Spire duo, Josh Berry clears Tyler Reddick. So that's Berry up into the 14th position. And just behind Berry and Reddick, you've got Noah Gregson, who, as we said, got an extension with Front Row Motorsports earlier this week. He is running solidly inside the top 20 here. 16th position for the driver from Las Vegas in the Long John Silver's Ford. Well, always fun when we come to Richmond. As we said, this is a legacy racetrack on the calendar. It's been around for a long, long time, and it is fun to come to Richmond now one time a year, but packed grandstands again for this race. We have a comment, by the way. Brad says, what is the definition of harpooned in NASCAR? Well, just what it would be, I guess, any other time of that you want to use the word harpooned. Very hard spear-like piercing hit. That's certainly what happened with Larson and Hocevar on the restart as Denny Hamlin is all over the back of Ryan Blaney in turn 4, and they hit. Hamlin gets into the back of Blaney. Blaney gets sideways, catches the car. Hamlin has to back away, and the battle for third is turned physical.
Yes, indeed. As Hamlin gave him the old heave-ho, a little bit of a bump, excuse me, and then Blaney bumped him back when he got sideways when he was trying to straighten the car up. So I come back from my perch at the perfect time, is what you're saying.
Hamlin underneath the spoiler of Blaney, and Hamlin just got back to the throttle, middle of the corner, faster than Blaney did, and run into the back of him. Blaney has held on to that third position, at least for now, but here is Hamlin moving to his outside as they race to turn 3. Denny Hamlin wraps it around the top, and he'll come off turn 4, throttles up, gets ahead of Blaney, can't clear him though. Blaney's still alongside. They go back to 1, but it looks like the 11 car is a little bit better than the 12 at this current moment, Seth.
And Hamlin is going to finally clear him off of turn number 2. So Denny Hamlin now back clear to the third position. Like I said, it was supposed to be just a normal 67. I would have been a little bit there, but I had to break up a fight between the Caveman and the Hokey Bird. So
Of course, yes. So Denny Hamlin up to third.
And of course, for the second time this week, I had to drive somewhere and tell someone what I really thought about him. Of course, it was Darren Waller earlier in the week, James Franklin this time.
So Denny Hamlin up into the third position, getting past Ryan Blaney, who is backslid to 4th, furthest back we've seen the 12 car here tonight. I mentioned earlier, if you're just finding us here on the Ultimate Sports Media Network and you're new to the channel, you like what you see in here, to like and subscribe. We say that, of course, all the time. There's something I never thought I would see in the whole of my life on a NASCAR broadcast, a graphic promoting the Franz Beckenbauer Super Cup next Saturday between Bayern and Dortmund, as pit road looks to be like it's going to be a busy place again. Ryan Preece and Austin Dillon have just had service on the 60 and the 3 cars, and they pull away. Just to finish my point, of course, if you follow this channel, if you have been following this channel, you know that it got taken down not too long ago, incorrectly so. We got it reinstated. In the process of getting a channel reinstated, it messes up everyone's algorithm on YouTube, and it gets swiped from algorithms for a long time. So if you are just finding us, whether for the first time or for a second or multiple time, be sure to hit the like and subscribe button, because the algorithms are still getting straightened out with this channel. So if you like what you see in here, be sure to hit the subscribe button. That is incredibly important, because if you don't, you might not find us again unless you do a straight-up search, because of the algorithms getting straightened out. So just want to get that, point that out, that if you do want to see more of us, it is very important that you hit that subscribe button, because, the algorithms have been all wonky over the last few weeks.
And I would like to add something that I do during the broadcast. When I do my game, smash the notification bell, too. That way you'll be notified when an event is either about to get on the air or on the air. 2 things, Matthew. 1, Connor Zilic, his year from hell continues. He got busted for a penalty, too fast exiting. And then number 2, Matthew, would you like to play Ask the Play-by-Play Guru? Because we have a question from the audience here, from Mr. Brad Hackett, who asks you, what is the definition of harpooned in NASCAR?
Well, so again, like, it would be just like you would use it when you're using a harpoon in the ocean. You just have to, spear a fish. You spear the fish hard, you pierce it with your arrow or whatever you're using, the harpoon. So yes, just very blunt force hit. There you go. Hope that suffices. You ever used a harpoon, Seth?
No. My fishing experience is I was on a family friend's boat when I was about 5 years old, and I was trying to play around with the rod, and
Oh, God.
I was so mad. I actually threw the rod into the water and pitched a fit, as 5-year-olds do at that time. So at that moment, I think me and everybody else in my family decided that was going to be what I like to call a 3-for-1 excursion. First, last, and only.
Indeed. Leaders across the line. Chase Briscoe's lead on Joey Logano is shrinking, Seth Eaves.
Yes, as we get back to our actual jobs here, Briscoe's lead is 0.4 of a second over Logano. And what's hurting some of these guys is that they're catching guys in a blend that are just coming out of pit road. And that's really causing some issues. Logano really closes in this time.
Yeah, and there's cars coming from behind the leaders that have just come off of pit road that's on fresher tires, and they're zooming past them. Cody Ware is about to go by both of the leaders. Words never before spoken.
You have now entered the twilight zone. Joey Logano trying to chase Briscoe down, and Shane Van Gisbergen still running that boundary line up there.
Yeah, and he's just gone a lap down. Running in 22nd is Van Gisbergen. He's just fallen a lap down to the leaders who's gotten around him.
Briscoe by a car length over Logano as they work down the back straightaway. They have the Michael McDowell car in front of them. He'll go low and he'll just give way, and Logano really closes in. It's about a car length out of 4.
These two are almost 3 seconds ahead of third place running Denny Hamlin, so it's a private battle for the lead between Briscoe and Logano.
Logano goes about a half a groove higher on corner entry, but it's still Briscoe who holds the advantage. Keeps the steady wheel on down the back straightaway, but Logano lurking just in case. The battle rages on through 3 and 4. Steady at 1 car length, Briscoe leads.
Logano was wrapping the bottom. Briscoe was half a groove higher. Then Briscoe came off the corner and shot across the nose of Logano. Now it's a shallow entry into 1 for the 19.
Shallow entry indeed. So it is Briscoe just ahead of Joey Logano down the back straight. Logano with a great run. Goes up to the high side of the racetrack. They've got the Cole Custer car to deal with. Logano, though, trying to work his way through. He is there. He might have a chance off 4.
Logano muscles that car off of turn 4. It was sideways as he got to the throttle, but he still got alongside Briscoe, and it's a side-by-side battle for the lead in the corner.
Logano and Briscoe, and they continue to battle side by side. They're going to split Cole Custer going to turn 3, and it's going to be Logano who comes out of there with a race lead. As Michael McDowell's going to surge by Custer, too. He's going to surge by them both on fresher rubber. Matthew, I know it's just up 173. The 2010 San Francisco Giants of NASCAR is rearing his head again.
That's exactly right. As Kyle Larson is on pit road completing service in a green flag pit stop for the 5 team. But yes, Joey Logano goes to the front of the field for the first time tonight. He won a few weeks ago in dominant fashion at North Wilkesboro, another shorter, flatter racetrack, and he's worked his way to the front here.
Joey Logano leading on lap 174, still 227 circuits remain, so not quite halfway, but I said last week in pre-race, even your Logano, that's his move, and he's ticking off the base while doing so. Let me ask you a question. This is a more somewhat more quote-unquote pure format as, whoa, Barry about shipped Dillon off of 4. If Logano wins the championship this year, what are they going to say?
Well, what are they going to say? Well, we got to go to the Latford system. That'll be next. It's already here.
Again, I don't want to go on these Matthew rants. I don't want to play favorites or play anti and tell anybody who to root for, what to root for. But there was a time where I wasn't overly crazy about the drive of this 22 car. Now when he does do well, I kind of enjoy it because he just breaks the brains of so many people.
It's the 9th race in 2026 that Joey Logano has led. The first laps he's led since the 323 that he paced at North Wilkesboro. He stays out on the racetrack for another lap. He's got 1 second on Briscoe.
So Logano the margin would tell you it's comfortable, but it's not really that comfortable with all the traffic. Meanwhile, Matthew, cars on pit road. How about Christopher Bell?
Yeah, more green flag pit stops here. The DeWalt number 20, right side tires off and on. You're not going to see a two-tire stop tonight unless possibly we go to overtime late. But here in the middle of the race, all 4 tires and fuel. Bell is away. Alex Bowman also away in the Ally number 48 as Logano gets hung up in some traffic on the track.
He does get hung up in some traffic on the racetrack. Meanwhile, William Byron brings his number 24 car down the pit road. Right side tires going on that machine. They're done there. They've got the gas. They're trying to put the gas in, having a little bit of trouble with the gas. Over on the left, they're done with the left side. They get the gas in, but that was a little bit slow by the catch can man there.
Still the leaders stay on the track. Logano, Briscoe, Hamlin, all on the racetrack still. We've also had a change at 4th. Austin Cindric has gotten around Ryan Blaney. Now Logano and Briscoe are going to pit together. Denny Hamlin stays out. He'll assume the lead for the first time tonight, but Logano's in at the turn 4 into pit road.
Indeed, the Connecticut driver brings his car down the pit road. 4 tires, gasoline. Great stop. Down and away. That crew has been on it tonight.
Meanwhile,
Briscoe. This should be Briscoe. It is, Matthew.
Number 10 pit box on pit road. Chase Briscoe stops right on his marks. Right side tires are done in a flash. They swing to the left sides. Sunoco Racing fuel going in. Briscoe is away. That's a terrific stop from both of the pit crews of the leaders. Now Denny Hamlin from Chesterfield, Virginia. 5 times a winner here at the Richmond Raceway. He considers it his home track. He is in. Bob's Discount Furniture Toyota. Right sides are done quickly. And Austin Cindric, who came into pit road running in 4th, he gets crossed up with a car coming out of his pit box. Cindric will lose a lot of time as Hamlin exits his box, but Cindric, well, this will be a real problem for the 2 cars, Seth. He lost all kinds of time because he was coming into his box just as Daniel Suarez was exiting his.
Yeah, that was, oh man.
It's good avoidance.
That's tough. Good avoidance. Blaney's in.
Yep, Ryan Blaney, number 1 pit stall, Ford Dark Horse Mustang, to the attention of the Team Penske crew. Much maligned pit crew of this 12 team. 4 tires and fuel. That's a clean stop. Blaney is away on the drop of the jack.
One of the quicker, cleaner stops they've had all year, and I'm not even being funny. I mean, that was really good.
Joey Logano back on the racetrack ahead of Chase Briscoe. But remember, when Logano pitted, he was 1 second ahead of Briscoe. Said now it's just 1 car length. This will be the battle for the lead, and now it officially is.
They get around the Ricky Stenhouse Jr. machine on the back straightaway. It's Logano by a car length over Briscoe. Briscoe tries to reel him in. Logano the lead. It is a hot and heavy battle here as we are nearing the final 45 laps at this stage.
You can see next to Joey Logano's name on timing and scoring on your screen. He just set his fastest lap of the race a couple of laps ago, right off of pit road on fresh tires. Lap 182, the fastest lap Logano has set today. The green color next to Ryan Blaney's name indicates that he has the fastest lap so far of the race. Of course, that is worth 1 championship point if you can set the fastest lap of the race and finish on the lead lap. So, pit stop
and
cycle.
With that,
yes?
With that, the maximum point gain in possible in one race is?
Yes, maximum point gain possible in one race this year is 76.
Because unless I was in La La Land, I don't remember you saying that at the start of the race.
I might not have, yeah.
There I go cleaning up again for you, man.
May have skipped it up this week. My goodness. How many times are we going to see this Cindric and Suarez?
I mean, it was a big deal and great avoidance, but I mean, come on, let's go.
We've seen it 3 times now on replay. So pit stop cycle has finished up under green here, just shy of halfway. You see the recycled running order on your screen with Logano leading for Briscoe. Big mover in the pit stop cycle, though, a few of them, Seth, from pitting early and getting laps earlier than everyone else on fresh tires. Christopher Bell, Chase Elliott, and Ryan Preece now run 4th, 5th, and 6th.
Indeed. So that is what's going on here. So again, Logano, I was going to give you a top 10 reset, and then we... Really?
Yeah, I'm not fully sure why we have to see for a 5th time the replay of the Cindric Suarez ordeal. I I will say the running order is about to change here quite a bit because guys like Ryan Blaney, who stayed out much longer than everyone else, now he has the fresher tires on the track. He came out running 11th. He's already jumped to 6th, Seth, as he just passed William Byron.
So with that move, let's give you the top 10 now. Reset the top 10. You see it on your screen, but we'll just tell you because, again, you don't get the radio out of us that easily. It's Logano the leader, Briscoe second, Denny Hamlin third, Christopher Bell fourth, Chase Elliott fifth. Actually, check that. Elliott has just passed Bell for fourth. Blaney sixth, Byron seventh, Cindric eighth, Bowman ninth, and Priest 10th, and Cindric passed Byron for seventh.
So a lot of position swapping going on here with now the difference of who is on what line of tire strategy, because again, you've got guys like Bell and Elliott and Priest that pitted very early, then guys like Logano, Briscoe, Blaney, and Cindric who pitted much later in that green flag run. And Ryan Priest is actually on pit road again. Okay. That's interesting. That looked like a routine 4-tire stop for Priest. So there might be some guys pitting again before this stage is over. Wow. Blaney's flying on fresh tires. He's just passed Bell.
Yeah, he just ran a 24:30, which is 0.8 faster than the leader's last lap.
Yeah, he's flying right now as he's got the freshest tires of the leaders, does Ryan Blaney. So up into the 5th position he goes. He's nearly 10 seconds off the lead, but he's only 1 second behind Chase Elliott, the 4th place car.
So I'm looking for more info on the Priest deal, which it could be what you said. It could just be that they're pitting again here. So
I was just surprised to see him on pit road again. So he's going to have to put in some heavy lifting. Now, he is going to be on much fresher tires, but he's going to have to put in some heavy lifting here to get back on the lead lap before the caution comes out for the stage ending, which is only 35 laps away. So we'll have to follow some of these guys pitting for a second time under green in this stage to see if they can get back on the lead lap. As Joey Logano continues to lead, but he's been in behind some traffic here the last couple of laps. He's had to get around Brad Keselowski. Now he elbows his way past Darrell Wallace Jr., and Logano is starting to lose a little bit of time to the 2nd place runner, Chase Briscoe. Now Keselowski will work back to Logano's inside. Keselowski just pitted moments ago, and he'll get by Logano. As we said, Stage 2 and 3, they're going to be much different than Stage 1 just because of how short the first stage was. 17 cars on the lead lap, the last of those being Riley Herbst in the Monster Energy Toyota, and he's running, in fact, only a few car lengths ahead of the leader, Joey Logano. Here's Keselowski. You mentioned him on fresh tires, Seth. He is trying to bulldoze his way through traffic. He gets around Austin Hill and Michael McDowell.
Moving and grooving is that number 6 car. Meanwhile, Austin. Yeah. Very well done out of you.
So,
why are we looking at Austin Hill?
Well, that's a good question.
Just blew fast past Ty Dillon.
Thank you.
Now his teammate and Ty's brother Austin's in that mix too.
Yeah, and I think Austin Dillon just came off pit road because he's now flying. So that's another pit stop this stage for the 3 car. He's running 25th, and he's trying to get up there and unlap himself again. He's just past Logano to go from 2 laps down to 1. And he and Keselowski on fresh tires go right around Eric Jones. Eric Jones looked like he was in a different class of vehicle, like an IMSA race, with the 3 and 6 cars going around the 43. Now Dillon will put away Keselowski. We've got 30 to go in Stage 2, and we're halfway home, 200 of 400 complete.
This is a saying I usually use when we're at Daytona or Talladega, or New Atlanta, as some are calling it. But there cannot be a more helpless feeling in sports than driving your car pedal to the metal as fast as it can go, and yet you're getting past as if you're going 20 in an 85 on the interstate. I mean, that has got to be some not so good feeling.
Well, we keep following Brad Keselowski and Austin Dillon on their fresh tires as they try to race up the running order. Ryan Blaney did get past Chase Elliott for fourth, but now Blaney about 3 seconds behind Denny Hamlin. So Blaney has gotten back to about where he was running after staying out longer. Austin Cindric, remember, before the pit stop cycle, was running fourth. Then he had more time on pit road because he got crossed up with Daniel Suarez. So that, in the end, has cost him 2 positions on the track, going from fourth to sixth. Here's another pit stop for Kyle Larson. So Larson will pit with less than 30 to go in the stage. This could be a bit of a gutsy call from Cliff Daniels, because he's not going to have a lot of time to use these fresh tires and try to get back on the lead lap before the stage ends. Larson is away. The count of cars on the lead lap continue to get smaller, Seth. We're at 14.
It's one of those old school races everybody says they likes.
Yeah. That's
Domino
right.
now getting by. So what now?
No, that's right. Now
Okay,
just get on social media and watch everyone complain about it.
Gano getting past Eric Jones on the main straightaway.
So, well, watch.
By the way,
Mm-hmm.
Sorry to interrupt you there, but Kyle Larson might still get his wish. Hot laps for the Saturday portion of the Knoxville Nationals are still on hold. It is, they've got weather issues there.
Oh, boy. Oh, yes, it's the race to Knoxville. Larson.
The other Knoxville, not the real Knoxville. not the fun Knoxville.
So hold on a minute. No, hold on now. We've got, just so in case you're keeping score at home or even if you're alone, we've got Seth now saying there's a real UT and a real Knoxville. Just in case we were keeping score.
I don't make the rules, or do I? Actually,
Oh my
like
God!
I said, I don't make the rules on the UT one. Tennessee was a university before Texas was a state. Texas would be Mexico without the state of Tennessee's help. I don't make the rules on that one.
And
Texas,
you hear.
And them Texas fans, man, when something goes wrong, they never blame themselves.
College football coming up on the channel, a couple of weeks away.
We'll have Texas in week number 2.
Yeah, we will.
Against the world-famous Ohio State Buckeyes.
Thank you. Oh, my Lord. Austin Cindric has run down Chase Elliott. Fresher tires on the green and neon yellow number 2, so this will be a battle for 5th, and one would think, Seth, it probably won't be much of a battle.
You would rather hear that intro than who's actually going to do the intro for that game this year on national TV. Be honest.
Yeah.
All right. We gotta get off. We gotta get back on track here, which is hard to do when there's no battle. So it's Logano with a 4.5 second lead on Briscoe.
I will say, we do have another comment from Brad saying, not that I'm complaining, but what's with the early pit stops? Did Goodyear bring a different, softer tire from the last 2 years? It is the same tire that they've had here the last 2 years. So no difference in the compound of tire, but perhaps just a bit different, the strategy being called from the crew chiefs, because, again, it still looks strange if you're a longtime NASCAR fan. It looks strange to be going on a long green flag run at Richmond and seeing so many pit stops and then cars coming out looking like, this has looked like Darlington. at times tonight with cars coming off of pit road and being just so much faster than guys that haven't stopped. It's interesting to see. We've been watching guys like Larson, Austin Dillon, Brad Keselowski, Chris Buescher. Those guys have not yet gotten themselves back on the lead lap with their fresher tires, and they're starting to run out of time to do that because we're now coming to 16 to go in the stage. And remember, once we get to 10 to go in a stage, if a yellow comes out, the stage would be over prematurely, and then that could really backfire on those guys. Logano, as Seth mentioned, has a large lead. In fact, he's just put another second on Briscoe. It's up to 5.7. That's the largest lead anyone has had tonight. And this is turning into a North Wilkesboro-like performance for the 22 team. Now it's up to 6 seconds. Briscoe has Denny Hamlin closing in on him, Seth. Let's pick up that battle in turn 2.
The battle does rage on there as Hamlin is within about 5 car lengths of Briscoe. Briscoe battling with the Austin Hill machine right now.
Yeah, Briscoe loads it up around the outside. He'll try to get around both Austin Hill and Eric Jones. Jones heavy on the brakes in turn 1 now. Speaking of Larson, here he goes, Seth. He's going to make passes on Cindric and Elliott. That means Larson's still about 10 seconds from the leader Logano and unlapping himself.
There you go. 5th place, though. That's a battle. Austin Cindric now trying to die to the inside of Chase Elliott.
Cindric to his inside. Slightly fresher tires on this Quaker State number 2 of Cindric. Draws even with Elliott, and by the time they get into the corner, into the braking area, Seth Elliott just gives it to him.
He does. As you go ahead, Austin Cindric up into P5. And, well, you know it, Matthew. That Penske power's back. 1st, 4th, 6th, and the corporate car 7th.
Yeah, now 5th for Cindric. So, once again,
that's right.
All 3 in the top 5, just as they were in this race a year ago, though neither one of them won it. They finished 3rd, 4th, and 5th because it was Austin Dillon winning and Alex Bowman was 2nd. And then the 3 Penske cars were 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Here's Logano across the line. 12 laps to go here in Stage 2. He'll whip around the outside of the Josh Bilicki automobile.
Joey Logano has really set the pace well here in this 2nd stage, running all by himself on the back straightaway. Now dives into the number 3 corner. Smooth sailing for Logano.
He has been putting in a heck of a stint this run on this set of tires. He is now 7 seconds up on Chase Briscoe and Denny Hamlin. Hamlin continues to get closer to the back of his teammate. Here's Kyle Larson again. He continues to try to put the pedal to the metal here. He's got a long way to go to catch Logano, set to get back on the lead lap. He's got about basically the length of the back straightaway to go, and he's got to get it done in 10 laps.
That's going to be tough, though.
But, boy, he's just sliced his way through 3 and 4.
Briscoe.
Yeah, he just went around Hamlin at the entry to 3, got around Briscoe on the exit of 4. Larson knows that he's got to make this pass, and again, what makes this difficult, if a caution comes out over the next 10 laps, the stage would automatically end, so he might not get a full, now 9 green flag laps to make this up. But Larson, he has saddled the horse and cracked the whip. He's going to try to get around Todd Gilliland in turn 1, and Gilliland went to a defensive line for some reason, and that bothered Larson's entry line.
Yeah, maybe somebody told Gilliland, hey, that 5 car's fast. You might want to cut it off, keep him a lap down.
Here's Logano back up off of turn number 4, clicks off another lap lead as he goes to turn 1. Where is Larson? He's gotten around Gilliland. He's gotten around Gibbs. He's in the process of passing Priest.
So he does make the pass on the Priest machine. Now he'll go by Riley Herbst. A little bit of a wiggle coming off of turn 2. He'll blow by Herbst as if he's sitting still.
And that is a pass for position. Both cars a lap down, so that's Larson up to 14th. He at least needs to pass Daniel Suarez on the racetrack, Larson. That's the free pass position, but he wants to do more than even that. Meanwhile, fight for second begins to brew between teammates.
Yeah, Hamlin has caught Briscoe now, that is for sure. As they work their way down the back straightaway, here is Hamlin. diving inside of Briscoe, and looks as if Briscoe's going to stay in front of him.
Briscoe tried to shut the door on his teammate, but now Hamlin is able to lunge to his inside in turn one. Let's see if Hamlin can make the pass.
And not quite. Briscoe is going to stay in front of him for now, but Hamlin has a good run down the back straightaway. Approaching turn number 3, it's Hamlin and Briscoe side by side. Can't tell them apart for second.
Meanwhile, 5 laps to go in the stage. Kyle Larson is about half a straightaway behind race leader Joey Logano as Hamlin continues to try to make this pass on Briscoe. Hasn't completed it yet in turn 2.
He has it. Briscoe is hanging tough. Side by side on the back straightaway. Hamlin and Briscoe continue this battle. Hamlin now up by a scotch, but here comes Briscoe sliding it a little bit out of 4.
Briscoe loads it up around the top, but Hamlin's got better traction off the bottom. He'll clear Briscoe this time. 3 lap cars ahead of these two, but Hamlin is cleared a second.
So Hamlin cleared a second with Briscoe back in third, and Logano just cruising.
With an 8.5 second lead on Hamlin. Meanwhile, Kyle Larson has gotten around Daniel Suarez, so at the very least, Seth, he is in the free pass spot.
So good drive by Kyle Larson, and I wonder if anybody on the radio is telling him about the radar in Knoxville.
He's in a hurry.
Knoxville, Iowa.
Yeah, he's in a hurry to get back there. Meanwhile, fight for 4th may be about to begin right at the end of the stage. Teammates were battling for 2nd a moment ago in Hamlin and Briscoe. Now you've got teammates for 4th. Blaney has the spot. Austin Cindric is looking for it. Cindric to his inside in 1.
Cindric has the spot, or Cindric wants the spot. He got a good run on Blaney down the back straightaway, but Blaney with a good corner exit off 2 has the position. Cindric will try to drive it back in, but it's Blaney with a slight advantage.
So those two battling for a position for the 4th spot before this stage ends. We are on the last lap of stage number 2. Joey Logano enters turn number 3 with a 9-second lead. Kyle Larson is only about 5 car lengths behind him, but he will not have time to pass him. Green and white checkered flag is out. Joey Logano scores his 2nd stage win of the season. Denny Hamlin will have to wait almost 10 seconds for him to get to the line, but he does here. Hamlin is 2nd. Briscoe is 3rd. Austin Cindric completes the pass on Ryan Blaney for 4th. Then it's Barry, Elliott, Bell, Reddick, and Byron, the rest of the points-paying positions. Ross Chastain and Alex Bowman finish 11th and 12th. Those are the only 12 cars on the lead lap. Kyle Larson in 13th will get the free pass. Joey Logano, the Stage 2 winner here at the Richmond Raceway, could be on his way to win number 2 on the season. He is giving some North Wilkesboro vibes, it would seem. Stage 2 in the book, Seth. That's 170 laps to go in the Cookout 400.
Well, it's looking like Logano's night so far, but again, you just never know in these racing. It's the old Murray Walker line. Anything can happen in auto racing, and it usually does. We'll see what happens there. Again, not much of a hot lap as far as racing is concerned because, well, a lot of events haven't been done. Can't tell you that earlier today, it was the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series Caden Honeycutt. Good performance.
He whipped him
today, winning that truck race here at Richmond. Again, it was supposed to be ran last night, but everything that could have possibly went wrong last night did. So we had to run it a day late, which is perfectly fine, as long as we got it in. Women's Basketball Hall of Fame class got inducted today. As we're switching sports a little bit here. Or Steve was the Basketball Hall of Fame, but among those who got in on the women's side, including Elena Deladonna, one of your favorites. Shamiqua Holtzclaw, Candace Parker, one of my favorites. Joey Crawford, the official, got in, as did Mike D'Antoni and Mark Few. I'm sure people be complaining about that.
With that said, Basketball Hall of Fame, I mean, we just open up the doors for that, don't we?
That is true.
I mean,
and also the 1996 U.S. Women's National Team as a whole was inducted.
As a whole.
And
the whole damn team. Just.
I know Daryl didn't say damn, but you sell. It's the whole thing.
I don't know if I've ever heard about that. Whole team going into the Hall of Fame. Don't care if you're already in there. Whole team's going in. All right.
Happened before in other sports. I feel like.
Has it?
I feel like I've seen it before.
I feel like we've just really ruined Halls of Fame.
Well, you know what? That's also very true. But I mean, I'm trying to find stuff to fill in here, okay? And geez, because you're kind of just if you'll let me go, I'm setting up for something funny here. NFL preseason. Who gives a crap? 20. Who cares? 15. As cars come down pit road, you cover those, and then I'll get to the schedule news, and then the rest of other sports in just a minute.
It was a preseason game that ended in a tie. Joey Logano has...
Yeah, my team was involved in it.
Already exited pit road. He came in with a huge lead onto pit road. Again, only 12 cars on the lead lap at the caution, so you'll get very clean and orderly pit road. Logano wins the race off. It's dead even for second between Hamlin and Briscoe. They're followed by Barry, Blaney, Cindric, Elliott, Bell, Byron, Reddick, and Chastain.
I wish I was a little bit taller. 5169 got a kick out of your whole damn team comment.
Anyway, we press on.
NASCAR schedule news. Of course, little crumpets have come out. Richmond was involved this week. It was announced that this date is moving to September and the opening race of the 2027 Chase. Other announcements that have been made in case you've missed it the last couple of weeks. The All-Star Race is returning to North Wilkesboro.
Oh, boy.
The Clash is heading back to the Daytona Oval. And also, we have one other thing. I thought that was kind of noticeable. Oh, yes, Iowa on July the 4th. The sad news, thanks to some pathetic idiots at the IHRA, no Rockingham in 2027, which is just an absolute shame. I'm never going to get to a race at that place, aren't I?
Doesn't seem likely.
I mean, okay, you know what? I know you don't like this, Matthew. I was like, F it. Can we just get a Saudi Arabian investor in there, give it a crap load of money, make sure it stays on the schedule forever? I mean, hell's bells, man. I mean, yeah, you have ISC and the NASCAR brass didn't want it, and Andy Hillenberg's goofy ass buys it, and then all he was ever good for was getting within 3 feet of a leader and screwing Jeff Gordon's day with me in attendance at Darlington in 2004. Not that I'm bitter or anything about that. I also had some beer poured on my pants, and the drunk lady never apologized for it. There was one saving grace from that day, though. That was the day UAB upset Kentucky in the NCAA tournament. Major League Baseball.
Yes, carry on. Yes.
Major League Baseball. Baltimore and Tampa Bay 4-3 as they go to the bottom of the 10th. The Orioles lead. Miami and Cincinnati are tied at 4 in the 8th. In the 7th, the Mariners lead the Astros 5-2. Phillies up 8-1 on the Twins, top of the 7th. Also in the top of the 7th, Cleveland 4, San Diego 1. Brewers leading the Dodgers 4-1 going to the bottom of the 7th. Brewers fans whining because Joe Davis is on the call of the game. It's Arizona.
Oh, God. Can we please? Oh.
Don't shoot the messenger. Just make it. Just
can we please with the Joe Davis of it all? I mean, God Almighty.
You can't even blame it on the New Yorkers this time.
I mean, for goodness sake.
It's the Nothingville Brewers from Nothingville people's fault.
I just don't understand. Vin Scully called national games 80% of his life as the Dodger voice. Joe Buck was the Cardinals voice. Brian Anderson They wouldn't be losing their mind if it was on TBS. Brian Anderson was calling it. Jesus. Enough already. Carry on, please.
Arizona 6, Atlanta 2 as they go to the bottom of the 6th. Boston leads Pittsburgh 1-0 at the end of the 6th. Kansas City and Anaheim, speaking of who cares versus who gives a crap, that's coming up at 9:38, unless you're a degenerate gambler. Rangers and A's at 9:40. 5 finals today, and Matthew, you've got a story. You've got something to work on for that game tomorrow. Yeah. Joshua Baez,
Woo.
What a day he had, becomes the first player to hit 3 home runs in his Major League Baseball debut. Cardinals beat the Cubbies 8-4. White Sox over the Tigers 4-3 in Detroit. Blue Jays beat the Yankees 4-1. The Giants actually won a game. Don't throw a parade. It was against the Rockies 7-1. San Francisco with a win there. And the Mets decided not to pay tribute to Jaden Daniels today. They beat the Nationals 5-4. Francisco Lindor did not get the memo with an RBI single, sparking a 9th-inning comeback. So, rest in peace, Stacey King. He didn't get the memo!
Oh, Stacey.
Doubled up.
And to the restart zone we come. Green flag back in the air. Final stage underway. Joey Logano, the control car, has Chase Briscoe knife his way to his inside for the lead in 1.
3 wide, a little further back, but it's Briscoe and Logano side by side. Logano outside, Briscoe inside on the approach to turn 3. Briscoe has the edge. Oh, good drive inside Briscoe. Dead even for the lead.
Briscoe and Logano duel for the lead. Austin Cindric sneaks through to 3rd. Josh Berry is 4th. They're 3 wide at 6th. Denny Hamlin bumper to the back of Berry.
Well, it's getting tight back there. Ross Chastain 3 wide, trying to make up positions. The battle for the lead, though, is still hot and heavy. Side by side. Briscoe inside. Logano outside. Briscoe by a scotch.
A lot of options for cautions to come out here, and one person that wants a caution is Shane Van Gisbergen. Steven Doran had the 97 take the free pass, Seth. He did not come down to pit road, the wave around, I beg your pardon. They did not come down pit road to get Van Gisbergen back on the lead lap. He needs a caution. He's on 40-lap-old tires. Battle for the lead comes to the line. Joey Logano on the outside. Chase Briscoe on the inside. Nose to nose in 1.
He just nursing on that super high lane away from everybody. He might get his wish. Blaney and Chastain battling further back. Battle for the lead still not over. Briscoe with a slim advantage. Logano on the outside hanging tough through 3. Uses the throttle. Logano wants the lead.
Nose-to-nose stuff, and Logano has his Ford just in front of Briscoe's Toyota. Briscoe dives it hard into 1 to try to take it back.
On a minute, they're scoring Van Gisbergen on the lead. Oh, he's on the lead lap. It's just he's back in the position. Okay, gotcha. Briscoe now clears Logano off of turn 3 and Chase Briscoe back to the front. Further back, Ross Chastain, Ryan Blaney nearly touched, battling for 7th.
Chastain took Blaney up the hill. Blaney, this is the furthest back we've seen him tonight. He's trying to get rid of this traffic behind him. He clears Chastain in 1.
So Blaney is clear. That is 7th. Chastain 8th. Meanwhile, 9th place of battle. William Byron, Christopher Bell. Looked like there was a little bit of contact between Alex Bowman and Ty Gibbs just behind them.
Gibbs trying to recover from the pit road speeding penalty all the way back in stage 1. It's taken him all this time to get in touching distance of the top 10. He's trying to take over 11th from Bowman.
Indeed he has.
I beg your pardon. Gibbs still a lap down. My mistake. He's a lap down in 15th.
Okay, that's right. Meanwhile, Hamlin and Berry a minute ago.
Boy, those two have had some contact on the restart. Berry shoved him up in 3, and then Hamlin gave him the rat-a-tat-tat on the back bumper in 1. Didn't appreciate that.
Josh Berry, this is not a knock on him, isn't one of the more highly publicized drivers. That might change. He might get a shout-out on Actions Detrimental Monday, and that might change things.
Yeah, exactly. Christopher Bell cuts his way off turn 4 to the inside of William Byron. This is a duel for the 9th position. Byron with a nose in front in 1.
Yeah, Byron and Bell continuing that battle back at the tail end of the top 10. 9th place, the battle here. Byron has the advantage slowly, but now here's Bell on the inside. Good hard racing for 9th. Byron powering outside.
Byron has the spot for now in his Cincinnati number 24, the red, white, and blue, and the stars and stripes. But Bell comes right back at him with the brake rotors glowing, under braking to 1.
Still side by side down the back straightaway. Now Byron is going to slide in front of Bell, and he'll be clear. So William Byron clear to 9th. Bell drops back to 10th.
And Alex Bowman just in behind those two, so Byron taking over.
I was about to say Ty Gibbs left, and I was like, oh yeah, he's left.
Yeah, I've already done that once myself on this run, yeah.
Real quick, Matthew, sometimes I like to do this to you. It's, does that remind you game? The Ross Chastain car, different sponsor. The way that car is, the paint scheme on that, the way that livery is painted, does that not give you a little bit of Sterling Marlin gold Coors vibes?
Yeah, absolutely. They ran that gold number 40 a few times in 2002. Yeah, absolutely. Same kind of color. And
Van Gisbergen's in the pits.
Wow, so it hasn't worked out. The gamble from Stephen Doran, his crew chief, hasn't worked out here. Remember, Van Gisbergen just inside the chase cut line. They thought maybe they could take that wave around, get on the lead lap, and get a quick caution, but the caution never came, and he was on 40-lap old tires on the restart, so they had to come in and pit him, and now not only is he off the lead lap, he's now 2 laps down, back in the 25th position. So gamble didn't work out immediately, but there's still a long way to go, just under 150 laps for Stephen Doran and Shane Van Gisbergen to try to turn it back the other way. I don't hate that gamble, Seth, because he wasn't running much better than 25th at the caution. So they've taken the gamble, it hasn't worked, and he's back in 25th. So nothing gained, nothing lost, really.
Right.
So Van Gisbergen, he will motor right around the leader Chase Briscoe on his fresher tires. Mitty on the hood and quarter panels of the 97 this weekend. He ended stage 2 21st, just to clarify that on that, Seth. So he ended stage 2 21st. He's now 25th. So not much of a difference.
Right, you are.
And now he gets back to 1 lap down by overtaking Briscoe. Lap 255 in the books, 145 to go in Richmond. Chase Briscoe has never finished in the top 10 at the Richmond Raceway. He is the leader from Joey Logano, Austin Cindric, Josh Berry, and Denny Hamlin, your top 5 runners. For you Kyle Larson fans, strategy from Cliff Daniels did work out to get him on the lead lap before for the start of this final stage. He currently runs 12th, 8.5 seconds off the lead. Talked about the Hendrick Motorsport struggles of late, Seth. You wouldn't say it's a full turnaround, but this is the best it's been for a while for HMS, isn't it? 6th, 9th, 10th, and 12th.
Right. Yeah, exactly right. Briscoe leading by less than a second. Logano, Cindric, Berry, Hamlin, then Elliott, Blaney, Chastain, Bowman, Byron. That is your top 10. Still a little ways to go, but the hourglass is starting to wind down ever so slightly.
Yeah, that's right, and it'll be interesting to see how many more pit stops the lead group have in them with about 140 laps to go, because we haven't really seen any crew chief willing to risk going 70 laps on a set of tires tonight. So you could split it in half from here, go 70 and 70, but we really haven't seen anyone go that long on tires tonight. So when will the pit stops take place here in this final stage? We've run 260 laps in this race, just 1 caution for incident. That was for a Zane Smith spin in stage 2. He is 31 laps down, Smith, after spending some time behind the wall, but all 37 cars that started this race are still running. Only 13 are on the lead lap. Chase Briscoe in front as we've mentioned, has never finished top 10 at Richmond. Real quick, Seth, while we have this moment, and we do know there.
Yeah, I was going to finish up. I was going to finish up sports scores anyway, so this is perfect.
Yeah, so go ahead with that.
All right. FedEx St. Jude Championship.
Oh, that's shaping up to be entertaining tomorrow.
Scheffler with a 2-shot lead thanks to Sam Burns is bogey-free 8 under 62. So it's Scheffler by 2 over Burns and Sung Jae Im. So that's what's happening on that side of the thing.
That's a tasty final pairing.
The best / most, maybe not the most exciting league in the entire world got cranked up today. It started yesterday, but got cranked up in earnest today. The English Championship. Bolton's returned to the second tier. They beat Preston 2-1. Swansea a 2-1 winner over Stoke. Matthew's favorite, QPR, beat Portsmouth 3-1. West Brom over Norwich 2-1. Middlesbrough beat Lincoln 2-1. A lot of 2-1s today. That was also the final at the Valley where Charlton beat Derby. Millwall 2-0 over Bristol City. I'm high on Millwall. I think they're going up this year. Sheffield United and Birmingham finished goalless at Bramall Lane. And how about the W? It's Washington.
You can't call them that anymore.
Oh, that's right! That's right! Washington 69, Los Angeles 66. That's in the fourth. Minnesota leads Las Vegas 59-52 in the third. One final today. New York over hapless Connecticut 82-75.
Washington Nationals and the Chicago Cubs are coming after the WNBA.
And this will no doubt lead to no comments from me, Daryl, Larry, and Mike. Whoa! I got trouble. That's a bad sports league right there.
Oh,
Captain Engelbert's around right there.
that's rough.
Seriously.
Someone needs to spin her out.
Whoa. Okay. Dang it. Said. Oh yeah. What was you gonna say before I cut you off a minute?
No, you finish whatever you got, and we'll.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what then. So if we have a little bit, if we have any time left, run over the schedule for the week.
Yes. Yeah. Very good. Yes. Do that.
First of all, I gotta find it first. Sometimes it takes me a while, but we'll get there. As Briscoe has a near 2-second lead. Again, we mentioned the big day tomorrow, the triple bill tomorrow. Ajax here in Veen, IndyCar at Markham, and Cardinals Cubs. That is a very eclectic 3-pronged day on the channel. And 3 eclectic voices. I'll be on the game from Holland. The JB has the IndyCar. Matthew's got the baseball. Monday, 3 o'clock, opening weekend of the championship concludes. Cardiff and Wrexham. That's South Wales against North Wales. That comes your way at 3 o'clock. And then at 10 o'clock, WNBA action as Paige Beckers and Dallas travel to Golden State. Wednesday, we've got first leg action for the UEFA Champions League playoffs as Celtic play the Austrian club Lask at Celtic Park. That's at 3 o'clock. And that... we're going from the Aces fanboys to the Valkyries fanboys, aren't we? Wednesday night, we'll have Golden State at home against Minnesota. Next Saturday, a soccer doubleheader, opening weekend of the Premier League. Brentford and Tottenham at 12:30 Eastern, as Tottenham try to do a great job this year and move all the way up to 16th in the table. That's followed at 3:30 by La Liga, the opening match of the year for Real Madrid. They are away at Espanyol. Then Sunday, August the 23rd, we'll have Manchester City against Bournemouth at 9 a.m. and NASCAR at New Hampshire. And then Monday, the 24th, 3 Eastern, Fulham, Chelsea. And just to throw it in there, college football, our first college football game on the channel, for those of you who might be interested, is Saturday, August 29th. The former Brazil game, North Carolina State at Virginia, 3:30 Eastern time. What a doubleheader that'll be, huh? NC State, Virginia, and then Daytona. That's going to be pretty cool. And our first NFL game of the year will be the Super Bowl rematch on Wednesday, September the 9th between New England and Seattle. That'll come your way at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Matthew?
Yes, so we've got a lot coming up on the channel. And again, if you're new, be sure to hit the like and subscribe button and hit that notification bell as well to get notified anytime we go live for all of those events. We'll have more baseball on the schedule that will get confirmed and set up as well. And, yeah, It's going to be really exciting because last year when we got on YouTube, we came on YouTube really in October for the start of the NHL and NBA seasons because we didn't get in time to start the NFL and college football season. We missed the entirety of the football regular seasons. So this is the first time that we've been on YouTube on this channel for, the sport equinoxes, if you will, of football, basketball, hockey, baseball, soccer, racing, tennis. Yeah, all of it. All of the above, Charles. So, we're very excited for that.
Oh, my God.
Yes.
To your point about we just let everybody into this damn basketball Hall of Fame. Doc Rivers is inducted tonight as well.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Well, you just said they let an official in tonight.
Very true.
Almighty.
Talk about riding coattails off of three guys. Jeez.
By the
only
way,
winning one championship.
I have an important question.
I do not know what Britney Spears is doing with her life.
A very important question. I wish I was a little bit taller. Why do you wish you were a little bit taller?
Well, see, he must be a Wolves fan.
Yeah.
Because he said, Wolverhampton, shake my head. So, I mean this in the nicest possible way. He's been through the ringer.
Yes.
You've been with me last Saturday. I had Wolves' League Cup game against Port Vale last Friday, which they won rather decisively.
Yes. Here's Denny Hamlin on pit road. Green flag pit stops here, lap 47 of this final stage. 124 laps to go. And Denny Hamlin on pit road, 4 tires and fuel, and Hamlin is away. Also, you had Austin Dillon on pit road, and another Austin is making a pass on the track, Seth.
Second place now belongs to car 2, Austin Cindric. He just got around the 22 of Joey Logano to grab that number 2 position.
Christopher Bell on pit road now in the DeWalt Toyota. DeWalt car won here at Richmond. This race in 2002 with Matt Kenseth. Logano on pit road. Had just been passed for second as we notated. Logano is away, the Stage 2 winner. 4 tires and fuel for the Shell Pennzoil Ford. Now here comes Chase Briscoe from the lead. Drops off the banking in turns 3 and 4 onto the apron. Briscoe hits pit road. Also, you've got Chris Buescher on pit road this lap, and Austin Cindric. So the first and second place cars on pit road this lap. This will turn the lead over to Chase Elliott. Here's Briscoe in pit box number 10. Stops on his marks. Right side tires are done. Bit of a messy transition from right sides to left, but Briscoe is away. He comes out right in front of Ross Chastain, turning into his box. Cindric is away cleanly. Josh Berry on pit road this lap with Ty Gibbs. And now Chase Elliott also on pit road, the UniFirst Chevrolet. And it's slow on the left rear. Slow on the left rear of car 9. They bolted on and he finally gets away, but that'll cost Elliott about a second and a half. Kyle Larson has not yet stopped, Seth, and he is the leader for the first time tonight.
Yeah, but he's getting passed like a statue, that's for sure.
Goodness gracious, he's got cars going here, there, and everywhere around him. Ross Chastain got by. Shane Van Gisbergen is set to go by, along with Tyler Reddick. Reddick running second. We have Larson, Reddick, and Alex Bowman that have not yet stopped. USA flashes up replay of the Chase Elliott stop. They just didn't get that left rear bolted on, and they had to wait to drop the jack and let Chase go. So Kyle Larson, the leader, and now on pit road, Seth.
Right side tires go on that HendrickCars.com Chevrolet. Done there. Now to the left side, they'll put gas in it. Well, they're waiting to put gas in it. They're waiting a long time to put gas in it. Or maybe they did, I just didn't see it. It was an optical illusion. Either way, Larson's down and away.
So Larson stops. Among the latest of the leaders to pit, Tyler Reddick, though, still on the track, has not stopped. In trouble on the back straightaway, Seth.
Larson Hocevar up against the wall. His car has almost come to a stop on the approach to turn 3. A miserable night for the Michigander continues. He's trying to get down. He can't. Caution is out. Oh my gracious.
So Tyler Reddick had not yet stopped. He is the leader at the time of yellow. And Kyle Larson, who had just stopped, is the first car one lap down. And Seth, in the end, it was a slow burn, but the gamble has paid off for Steven Doran and Shane Van Gisbergen. He had not yet stopped after his earlier pit stop at the start of the stage, so he is on the lead lap at the time of caution.
Wow.
He just made up 2 laps in that stage, or in that spell of racing, I should say.
If only Matt White were with him.
Hocevar's problem, I assume, is a flat tire. Perhaps I shouldn't assume that, but I don't know. It might be worse than that because he's actually let the window net down, Seth, so
yeah.
Perhaps this is something more complicated for Carson. He is so ready to get away from these short tracks. Iowa was a disaster. Tonight has been a disaster. And next week we go to a track fairly similar to Iowa and Richmond and New Hampshire. He was 5th in the championship standings heading into Iowa. He is on pace to perhaps fall out of the top 10 tonight. And behind the wall he goes. Yep.
To your point about Elliott, that was an 11.8-second stop.
That used to be fast.
You took the words right out of my mouth. I was about to say, I remember a time when 11.8 seconds was dynamite. Not anymore.
Trying to figure out what has happened with this 77. Says he's blown it up.
Well, there you go.
Wow. Apparently, something with the transmission has let go. So, there's some talk about a missed shift on Hocevar killing the transmission. Nonetheless, his car stalled at the top of turn 3, has brought out the caution before Tyler Reddick was able to come to pit road and complete the cycle of green flag pit stops. And again, for Shane Van Gisbergen, still on the lead lap. So that gamble to take the wave around during the stage 2 caution, it didn't work out for him to get that early yellow at the start of the stage, but eventually it does work out. He was a lap down in 21st when Stage 2 ended. Now in Stage 3, he's on the lead lap in 13th. Pit road will be open, and it should only be Tyler Reddick on pit road. I say that, but Denny Hamlin's going to come to pit road as well, Seth. So too is Ryan Blaney and Christopher Bell. So more on pit road than we perhaps expected with 112 laps to go.
Real quick, this is not counting a tweet that mentions the actual event itself. An off-topic tweet I didn't think could trigger 22-year-old PTSD, but yet it has. It's our friend Daryl at the track who says, "I'm having fun at the track, but man, it sucks seeing the 23 so lifeless." That was me during the 2004 World 600. Except it was the 24 car.
Yes.
Now, ran well everywhere else that car ran that year, but couldn't get it going there for whatever reason.
Yes.
I think it's me. It was my fault. It was my fault.
Yeah, we blame you.
Well, then again, I wasn't at Michigan and the car blew up, so I don't know.
Boy, he had them covered that day. Whoo, boy.
Jeez, that was going to be about a 10-second win or whatnot.
Goodness. So under yellow here.
All 23 of you watching, we do appreciate it.
Second caution for cause tonight. Interestingly enough, the 2 cautions for cause, Zane Smith and Carson Hocevar. Funny how that happens. Kyle Larson on pit road.
It's hilarious how that works sometimes.
Yeah, it really is. So we will be back and ready to go next week. As we've talked about, the Dollar Tree 301 from the New Hampshire Motor Speedway comes your way next Sunday here on the channel. And it'll be quite interesting to see what New Hampshire brings us as we count down the races left here until the chase begins.
Interesting note here about the Knoxville Nationals as the weather continues to go. They've made an announcement tonight. John and Connie McCoy are retiring from the track after this season, following a combined 62 years of service to the facility.
Wow.
John has been the longtime promoter and race director at KXV, so congratulations to them on a great career and all the best in retirement. I'll admit I didn't know who those people were until about 10 seconds ago, but I love seeing stories like that.
Yeah.
So,
by the way, I would just like to take a moment. This is not a rant, but I'm also not overly pleased. Now again, I know Saturday night races, Saturday night sporting events can be difficult on ratings, as we do have one to go.
Yeah, make it quick.
But right now, you've got sporting events on a Saturday night on CBS and Fox. CBS has a WNBA game. Fox has regional baseball coverage. Could have put this race on NBC, gotten much better ratings than they will be on USA, and, mind you, probably would have outrated regional baseball coverage and the WNBA. I know this TV deal was made to get more money rather than more viewership, but at some point, when does common sense come into play? Because we do have a race on NBC in 2 Saturday nights at Daytona. Tonight, NBC are showing American Ninja Warrior. Green flag up in the air. Chase Briscoe and Joey Logano on the front row. They fan out 3 wide behind them, including Alex Bowman making up positions.
Bowman with a good surge on the outside, but at the front, Briscoe gets clear of Logano. 4 wide almost as Josh Berry got a little sideways. Everybody keeps it pointed straight.
It was almost a train wreck out of turn 2, and by the time they got to 3, that was all happening. Josh Berry getting ping-ponged around in traffic.
My God, this is unbelievable. Here is Byron just ahead of Berry and Hamlin. Ross Chastain not too far back of this battle, too. It's Hamlin and Berry still side by side.
Meanwhile, Tyler Reddick is absolutely rolling. He came down to pit road under caution along with Denny Hamlin. He's on fresher tires than the leaders, and Reddick has blasted his way up to the 5th position.
Yeah, he has. What was that about that 45 car winning races early in the year despite not having the best car?
Yeah.
Have we talked that into existence? I don't know. I don't know how they didn't wreck here with Berry and Chastain on the back straightaway.
They have avoided restart crashes immaculately tonight. Here's Reddick making a pass on Austin Cindric in turn 2.
Reddick on the move. Car 45 working, going for 3rd place. He's got it. Tyler Reddick to P3.
Well, the caution came out at a perfect time for him because he was able to pit under yellow, not lose time with a green flag pit stop, and get on fresher tires than the leaders, and it's paying dividends.
You bet it is. So Reddick to 3rd as we near the final 100 laps, the final century mark of this particular race. Reddick has already moved up 6 spots since the restart.
runs in third. The battle behind him is for fourth. Austin Cindric to the inside of Bell. Remember, Bell also stopped under this yellow, Seth, so he's on fresher tires too.
Yeah, don't count C. Bell out of it as well. He gets by Austin Cindric.
Into the fourth position for Bell as he tries to follow Tyler Reddick towards the front. At the front it is Chase Briscoe over Joey Logano by a couple of car lengths.
Briscoe continuing to show the way at the front, not pulling away from Logano, but they both need to get going because objects in the mirror closer than they appear in that black, blue, and white 45.
And the gold and black number 20 of Christopher Bell, who is up to fourth, and he is chomping away as well.
Could be 4 under a blanket here, and Cindric back to fifth. Now Chase Elliott's working all over the back of him for that position. Single file at the front. Briscoe still your leader by 3 car lengths.
Briscoe stands on the throttle out of turn 4. He comes across the line, and we're into the last 100 laps of the Cookout 400. 300 complete, 100 to go, and the mover is Tyler Reddick.
Tyler Reddick is indeed on the move. He's up to the third position, and he is stalking Joey Logano. He is within a car length and a half of him. He is coming.
So Reddick, who made the pit stop under caution along with Christopher Bell. Now Bell only has 2 sets of tires remaining. He's racing with a bunch of folks that have 3 sets of tires left. Bell has 2 sets left, so too does Blaney, Byron, and Hamlin. Everyone else in the top 10 have 3 sets remaining that could be important as we go on. Here come the leaders up out of turn number 4. Chase Briscoe by 4 car lengths on Joey Logano. But now Logano has pressure at the back door. Tyler Reddick continues to close.
It's Reddick by 2 car lengths behind Logano. As Logano now is trying to do all he can to fight him off. Briscoe now starting to inch away. It's a little more than a half second his lead.
Briscoe stands on the throttle up out of turn number 4. He has had one of the best cars all night long, so too has Logano. Ryan Blaney has faded in this second half of the race. And Tyler Reddick, well, it's all worked out well for him. He's finally had some good luck here. He hasn't had any of that set the last 10 weeks.
He really has not. But he's in that third position right now. And if anything else, even if they don't win this race, a good run would be just what the doctor ordered for this team.
Yeah, and he is currently ahead of both Ryan Blaney and Ty Gibbs, who he's racing for second in the championship standings. Here's Kyle Larson further back trying to move up, Seth.
Yeah, Larson now clear, and Van Gisbergen also making the pass, so SVG on the move.
Shane, of course, contributor of that last caution, as he was able to get on the lead lap and stay on the lead lap. Larson's just passed him on the track for 12th.
So Larson running by himself, and of course, he and his fans are on Knoxville watch. I think Cliff Daniels actually communicated with him about that.
Meanwhile, Ryan Blaney has just come in over the radio. He says the brake pedal has gone soft. So Blaney talked about him fading over the second half of the race. Perhaps that's why some brake problems on the 12.
Perhaps. Being scored in the 7th position with 94 circuits remaining. And we're going to get a replay of something here. This is Keselowski.
Boy.
Whoa, he and Ty Gibbs, look out.
By the way, just to follow up on something that we mentioned in on this day, Seth was asking about that 2004 Watkins Glen race. That was the one that Tony Stewart won while sick.
I think I saw this, but go ahead.
Yeah, Kelly Crandall has posted a picture from the media center where they put up a trivia question on one of the TV screens. On this day in 2004, which driver pooped themselves en route to a win at Watkins Glen? Bob Pockrass has since quoted that tweet and said, that was Tony Stewart's second Cup win of the year and his second win at Watkins Glen, and I wanted our NASCAR scene cover to say, win number 2.
Oh, Bob, he's the
He goes on to say, needless to say, the editors did not agree.
Jeff Gluck. Here's the no freaking way stat of the night for you. Parenthesis, imagine telling someone this a month ago. Joey Logano is only 6 points behind Carson Hocevar in points as they run.
Wow.
I'm telling you, he's going to at least find a way to make this interesting and have people do number 2 on themselves.
Well, indeed. Here's Christopher Bell. He has rallied to get not only to the back of Tyler Reddick, but now he's alongside. Bell around the outside of Reddick. He'll complete the pass with relative ease off turn 4. Christopher Bell is up to third.
Third place now for Christopher Bell. And so Bell now to the third step of the podium, if you will. But it's still Chase Briscoe leading the race by a second over Joey Logano.
It's an important pass by Bell because, remember, he and Reddick were 2 of the cars that stopped under this most recent caution. So he is now ahead of Reddick as those 2 are on the same strategy. Denny Hamlin also stopped under that yellow, Seth. He has not moved up since the restart. He's still back in 9th.
Yeah, a little bit surprised about that as Van Gisbergen again runs that line that's going to take him to the Siegel Center.
I thought someone was in trouble, but it was just Shane.
Shane Van Gisbergen's line at Richmond, more life-altering than a 10-day trip to Europe.
Thank you. Yeah, I really did. The camera cut to it. I thought, oh, someone's in trouble. No, it's just Shane. Oh, goodness.
Yes.
Massive break that Stephen Doran and Shane Van Gisbergen caught with that caution coming out when it did to get him on the lead lap. And if it stays as it is, and he can come home at least with a top 15 finish, it's going to be a huge night in trying to make the chase for the championship for Shane. Seth mentioned earlier that the English Premier League season is right around the corner from getting started. We are super excited to bring you Premier League coverage throughout the season. And, well, it starts this week. We'll have the opener for you. Friday, Arsenal and Coventry. Friday.
So we are having that? I did not see that on the doc, but I was wondering if we did have...
Yeah, we can now confirm. Matt White to call Arsenal and Coventry. Look at him go. And then we'll have Brentford and Tottenham on Saturday. Man City and Bournemouth on Sunday. Premier League coverage on the channel throughout the season. Well, that works out very well. 3 games with 3 different voices on them. My goodness, it's almost like we planned it that way. I wish we could say we were that smart, but we're not. No one ever said we were smart. I figured Seth would have a retort to that.
I'm actually struggling, if you can believe that or not. Because I just, I got to be careful. You said it, I didn't. But then again, I can't say much because as I messaged you last night, I just don't know how you put up with someone as stupid as me.
Very carefully.
Yeah. Fragile. Yeah.
Oh,
handle carefully. Will break. Delicate brain will break easily. This is for JT. Delicate soul will burst into laughter easily.
Well, yeah, indeed. Oh my goodness. We are.
Yeah, that's why I always tell my new friends. I said, don't think you're a comic if you can make me laugh. I'm the most easily amused person on the planet.
Chase Briscoe just came around to complete lap number 320. There are 80 laps to go here in Richmond. And Chase Briscoe's lead at 1.8 seconds on Joey Logano. Christopher Bell up to third, just passing Tyler Reddick a moment ago. Denny Hamlin on his fresh tires just picked up 8th from William Byron. How is it all going to play out? There's still a lot more pit strategy to work out before this race is over. And it'll be very intriguing to see when the final scheduled pit stops when these crew chiefs will call their cars to pit road, because again, we've only gone runs of about 50 laps on tires tonight, not even that for some, and we still have now 78 to go. So we'll find out with you as we reach the final stages here of the Cookout 400 from the Richmond Raceway. Matthew Owens, Seth Eaves here with you, as you can see, bottom right of your screen. You got Chase Briscoe and Joey Logano right now. They've been on their tires for 44 laps. Third and fourth place cars, Christopher Bell and Tyler Reddick, are 10 laps fresher.
Yes, on your screen, two faces only mothers could love.
And speaking of, when will pit stops happen? Looks like they are now. Ty Gibbs just came off of pit road. Austin Cindric has just come in. So Cindric in the Menards Quaker State entry is in, and now the race leader is in. Chase Briscoe will come down to pit box number 10, Seth, and the leader's in for what I suppose is his penultimate scheduled stop of the night.
Yep, Briscoe brings that Bass Pro Shops Toyota in. They're done with the right side. Now they go over to the left side of that car. Down and away. Great stop for the 19 team.
So Briscoe pits. Alex Bowman also done with service. Our good friend Christian Malley is with us. He says hi to everyone. Couldn't sleep. Christian, I wonder sometimes if you ever sleep. Joey Logano and Ross Chastain are on pit road. Logano clean stop. He's away.
He and JT are on the same same sleep doctor.
Josh Berry, Shane Van Gisbergen, Chase Elliott, all on pit road. I could not manage through life getting the amount of sleep that Christian and JT get. Good Lord. Here's Denny Hamlin. To pit road comes Bob.
Yep. He's on pit road, Bob!
Christopher Bell has not yet stopped. Neither has Tyler Reddick, Ryan Blaney, William Byron, or Kyle Larson. Chase Briscoe has come out still ahead of Joey Logano. Looks like Austin Cindric may have jumped Christopher Bell. We'll get all of that sorted. No, I beg your pardon, Bell hasn't stopped yet. So Cindric works his way around Tyler Reddick here on fresh tires. So we'll work all of that out once the cycle of stops is complete. This has really been the story of the night. Find a spot in line, run a stint, 40, 50 laps, then come to pit road and get on fresh tires and see what kind of damage you can do as Cindric motors around the outside of race leader Christopher Bell. Cindric on much fresher tires, gets himself back on the lead lap. That's 8 cars on the lead lap at the current moment, as we still wait for Bell and Reddick and Blaney and Larson and Byron to hit pit road. Denny Hamlin's pit stop, Seth, was it a bit messy? Oh, yeah, they didn't get it jacked up.
A lot.
Oh, wow, they couldn't get
it jacked up on the left side.
Wow. My goodness. So a slow stop for Hamlin, as we've got 70 laps to go. And I feel like I can say this, as William Byron just exited pit road. I feel like I can say this because our guy Matt White isn't with us. I just looked up. Got 70 to go, and we've only been racing 2.5 hours. Need to shorten these races, though, don't you know?
Yeah.
That's what they say. Alex Hayden and I had a conversation about that. You can check that out on the Behind the Mic Sports Media Podcast.
You got that shameless plug in, but we do appreciate that. Yeah, got it in, but hey, better late than never.
Got it in under the buzzer.
Yep.
Yes, you can search up here on YouTube the Behind the Mic Sports Media Podcast, Episode 3 with MRN Radio's Alex Hayden.
Now, did you tip it or catch it at the 0.3 of a second mark to beat the buzzer? You know, you laugh. It won't be too much longer before it gets into our vocabulary.
Oh, it absolutely will. I can't wait.
I can't either.
We love college basketball around here. Christopher Bell still leads as he has not yet stopped. Remember, he and Reddick had 10 lap fresher tires and the other guys they were racing with. So they have stayed out longer here, trying to go for an overcut, to use a phrase. But Joey Logano, who's been on much fresher tires for a number of laps now, he's going to be well ahead of these guys when they eventually make their final stops. Or I don't even know if it'll be their final stops. Do we have guys that are trying to make it make this their last stop, knowing that others will have to pit again? Christopher Bell is really struggling for grip with those rear tires, though. I mean, Denny Hamlin just blew around him, then Austin Dillon did, and that put Bell in a bit of a vulnerable spot.
Well, you say that about Bell, but I'm just reading this report saying that he's been told his pace is good for the guys on their strategy. Seems like they only wanted to pit once over the final stint, while most leaders pit twice.
So that's what I was just wondering. Would we have guys in this final stint trying to one-stop it or two-stop it? And it does sound like, and we've got at least a couple in Bell and Reddick that are trying to one-stop it. Briscoe is getting closer to Reddick and Bell. He's only 7 seconds back now. Well, we'll just have to all follow it, but Briscoe's last lap, goodness gracious, look on your timing and scoring, everybody. Chase Briscoe's last lap, a 22.7. That was 0.3 faster than the leader Bell, and that's while Briscoe was making passes on the track. So he is much faster on his fresh tires. Here's Denny Hamlin passing Josh Berry, Seth, in turn 1. That's for 9th.
Boy, those two are been like magnets. Yeah. They with each other all night long. But Hamlin in the Bob's car now moves into the 9th position. Is getting down to it here, and this becomes, if we stay green, it becomes a race of strategy or strategery. Or as Yogi Bear would say, strategy.
Well,
I like Yogi Bear.
Whoa! AJ Allmendinger nearly bulldozed the leader out of the way.
Man, oh man! That was close.
See what Bianchi has to say about that.
Yeah, AJ Allmendinger saw a picnic basket apparently, and it was Austin Dillon. I think Ty must have fresher tires. I thought Austin Dillon had a problem. Austin Dillon will not win 3 in a row at Richmond. He will not.
He was attempting to become just the 3rd driver to do that. Can you name the other 2? That's won 3 straight Cup races at Richmond.
Let's go Richard Petty and Rusty Wallace.
You're one of 2.
I'm one of 2.
Richard Petty and Bobby Allison.
Okay. The former Yankee 400 winners we mentioned earlier. And Briscoe for the lead. Back straight away. Briscoe to the outside of Christopher Bell, who's on those old shoes. No match. Briscoe back to the lead.
So Briscoe back to the front as he will now fly away from Bell. Tyler Reddick hits pit road. So Reddick and Bell, who are on the same strategy. Reddick pits first among those two, and he pits with 58 laps to go. So the Pinnacle Toyota comes to pit road, trying to salvage a night. He's been, at best, top 10, top 12, but that fortunate timing of the last caution has put him in play for a top 5, and maybe, if it goes well for him, a win, which would be his 6th of the year. 1 lap later, Christopher Bell comes to pit road. So the leader, who was the leader at least, before Briscoe got by, hits pit lane, searching for his first win of the year, coming off his 7th runner-up finish last week. Bell is away with a clean stop. Also on pit road with those two was another Toyota, Eric Jones. 55 laps to go, and Chase Briscoe's lead on Joey Logano is 2.5 seconds, and it's Austin Cindric 3rd, Chase Elliott 4th, Alex Bowman, who finished 2nd in this race a year ago, Seth running 5th, one of his best runs of the year.
Yeah, having an excellent showing tonight in that number 48 machine. Again, it's been a rough last couple of years on and off the track for him, so for him and his fans and his team, that's just got. If he can hang on to this, it's going to feel like a victory.
So let's see now where Reddick and Bell come out at, because now they have 20 lap fresher tires than the leaders. 21 fresher than Briscoe, 20 fresher than Logano, 22 fresher than Cindric. And as you see on your screen, Bell is 13th, Reddick is 14th. They've both fallen off the lead lap. But on their fresh tires now, they will be able to charge, get back on the lead lap, and see where they come to. Will that be the final stops of the night for the 20 and 45 teams? We'll find out. Christian, by the way, says he watched NFL preseason games and MLB games all night. He says the Brewers have beaten the Dodgers 4-1. Here's Ryan Blaney on pit road. He stayed out even longer than Reddick and Bell did. And now the 12 car is on pit road. The multicolored body armor Flash IV for Dark Horse Mustang for Team Penske. Seth, he was really good first half of the race. He slipped in the second half.
Yeah, and he almost got run over. He almost made contact with Kyle Larson coming into the pit road. So that could have been that was nearly a disaster. But he got there safely, and he is now down and away. So
Blaney makes what could be the final stop of the night for the 12 car with 51 laps to go. Christopher Bell, Seth, trying to unlap himself.
Goes to the inside of Briscoe, and he's going to do it real quick. Here's some late hot lap news from a place you're familiar with. History tonight. Burt Myers has become Bowman Gray Speedway's all-time win leader. Win 108.
That is great for him. It's been coming. Everyone's been waiting for it. That's Walnut Cove, North Carolina's Burt Myers. All-time wins leader. That famous Bowman Gray Stadium. Good for Burt. That's amazing. Chase Briscoe by a second and a half on Joey Logano. Then it's a large gap back to Austin Cindric. Tyler Reddick has just shot around Chase Briscoe, so that's now Reddick back on the lead lap. So Bell and Reddick now, let's see, Bell 11th, Reddick 13th, both on the lead lap. They've got Shane Van Gisbergen between them in the running order. Will they try to go the rest of the way without stopping?
That is the $100,000 question at the present time. Whoa! Austin Dillon got ran over by Josh Bilicki. Words never uttered on this.
Well, again, the way that Richmond is these days, and the tire degradation and the lack of cautions and the green flag pit stops, you have to really appreciate a strategy-driven race. And this is all about execution. This is like watching a pitcher's duel baseball game. You got to execute. You've got to be sound and smooth and pounce when the opportunities present themselves. It's not a knockout, drag-out slugfest that'll end 13-11. That's how it's played out so far. Who's going to come out on top? At this point, Seth, we don't know watching it who's in the better spot, whether it's Briscoe on strategy A or Bell and Reddick, the strategy B runners.
That's why strategy races are cool. Because you just never know.
Chase Briscoe getting around the other Bass Pro Shops car of Austin Dillon. Joey Logano is closing in quite a bit, actually, Seth, down to 3/4 of a second.
Yeah, he is closing in. As Briscoe is still the leader, he gets around Austin Dillon. It's the Bass Pro Shops reunion there. Briscoe gets by Dillon. Now Logano will do the same in just a moment.
43 laps to go as the leaders flash across the line. Logano took another 0.2 out of Briscoe's lead that lap.
Here comes Joey, the Shell Pennzoil colors with 43 to go, trying to make a run. And it is Logano cutting into the lead. That's a half-second lead for Chase Briscoe.
Leaders come back up off of turn number 4 and across the line. Briscoe's lead on Logano. Another 10th cut off, 4/10 of a second.
So it's still Briscoe with the lead, but Logano is coming. It's down to 2 car lengths down the back straightaway. Logano eating up the Briscoe advantage on the approach to turn 3. Logano about a half a groove higher this time.
Here come the leaders up off of turn number 4. Joey Logano. Chum is in the water for the 2-time Richmond winner as he tries to run down the race leader. They're in 1.
Indeed. So Logano now tracking Briscoe down. Again, the gap is 2 car lengths. It is Briscoe. Logano now drifting a little bit to the high side. Michael McDowell on presumably fresh rubbers. Going to catch him. Logano trying to dime in the corner.
Logano comes up off turn 4 wide. Chase Briscoe takes more of a defensive line down the middle into turn 1. Logano charges around the top.
He does. McDowell now gets in behind Briscoe. Could Logano use him as a pick? Now they're going to be 3 wide almost. They are going to be 3 wide going into 3 corner. The 2 leaders in the lap car. Nearly contact. Logano with a slight edge. Briscoe had to back out. Logano the leader.
Logano loads it up around the top. He inches ahead of Briscoe, who tries to counter back on him. Door to door for the lead in turn 1. Joey Logano and Chase Briscoe.
Logano powering on the outside. Briscoe inside. Not going to be able to do anything with it. Joey Logano clear to the lead in Richmond. 38 to go. The line. Briscoe locks it up big time as they both try to come to pit road.
Wow, the 2 leaders will come to pit road together, and Briscoe lit up the left front tires trying to get to pit road speed. So Logano muscled his way to the lead, then immediately came to pit road. What an interesting strategy race this is. Logano's service is complete. Here's Briscoe coming to pit road, and we're going to have to make sure that he wasn't caught speeding. Also, the 3rd place car of Austin Cindric is on pit road this lap. So 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, all pit on the same lap. Briscoe exits his box. Seth, it's Logano and Briscoe, the 2 leaders. They'll be side by side on the exit of pit road. Logano squeaks ahead.
Logano does squeak ahead. Again, we're waiting to see what the call is. If there is a speeding call or whatnot. But at the moment, Logano is clear of Chase Briscoe as they head back to the main straightaway.
So now this is no longer the battle for the lead. Denny Hamlin now leads by 3 seconds on Christopher Bell. Kyle Larson, who USA has reported is out of tires now, so he can't pit no matter what happens the rest of the way, it would seem. Larson now moves up to 2nd as Denny Hamlin pits this lap. Christopher Bell now leads, Seth. And we believe, or at least we have reason to believe, that this 20 car will not pit again. His lead on Logano and Briscoe, we're going to wait and let timing and scoring recycle to figure out what the lead that he has on Logano and Briscoe is. It would seem, and it just recycled, it's 11.7 seconds that Briscoe and Logano is going to have to run him down from in 35 laps.
Yep, here we go indeed. My heavens. This is going to be spicy.
It's going to get really interesting to see, one, if Logano and Briscoe can run down Bell, Larson, and Reddick from all these seconds back on fresh tires. I get the sense they can. And then, while getting through traffic, can Logano hold off Briscoe or not? Joey Logano, a 2-time Richmond winner, has not won here, however, in 9 years. It was April of 2017 the last time that he won here in Richmond. He's starting to gap Chase Briscoe a bit here, Seth.
He is starting to gap him. Meanwhile, as far as the lead at the moment, Christopher Bell with a 3.1 second lead over Tyler. It's Logano 3rd, Briscoe 4th, just to get everybody abreast. Blaney is 5th, Cindric 6th, Bowman 7th, Elliott 8th, Byron 9th, Barry 10th. My God, a lot of team not a lot of team variety here. Gibbs, 2311, Penske, Gibbs, Penske, Hendrick, and Wood Brothers, which is Penske Associated.
Yeah, so it has been the big guns that have come to play, and play well they have, here on this Saturday night in Richmond. Christopher Bell still searching for his first win of the season. A second-place finish at Iowa last week, his 7th runner-up finish of the season. Kyle Larson, just to clarify on Larson, he just came down pit road, and that was his last set of tires. So now Larson is out of tires, so he just stopped. He's on fresh tires. He just blasted his way past the leader Bell to get back on the lead lap. Larson running in the 12th position. And Seth, I don't see how Christopher Bell is going to hold off Joey Logano and Chase Briscoe, because in just a handful of laps, that gap has gone from 11 seconds to less than 5. Logano's going to be on him, well, probably in the next few laps.
We've seen this year, where a guy has a big lead, but old tires, there's way too long to go for the strategy to work.
Yeah. Logano just whipped past Tyler Reddick off of turn 4, so Logano moves up into second. With 28 laps to go, he's only 3 seconds behind the leader.
Yeah, this isn't going to be much of a battle, I'm afraid. Bell continuing to show the way. For now, it'll be 27 to go when he gets back to the line.
Here he comes up off of turn 4, trying to keep it as easy as he can on the throttle, trying not to wear out those rear tires. But I think Christopher Bell is fighting a losing battle here.
It would appear as if that is the case. Joey Logano stays 4 car lengths ahead of Chase Briscoe on the back straightaway as they now get on the approach to turn number 3.
Here come the leaders back to the line, and Joey Logano was just 1 second faster than Christopher Bell last lap, a 23.9 to a 24.9. The gap is 1.2 seconds.
Yeah, 1.2 now the gap between Bell and Logano. Logano on the fresh tires, Bell on older tires. Logano, Briscoe's really the battle we need to be focusing on. And boy, Logano's at Bell now.
Yep, he is. As they come across the line, Logano's going to make the pass on Bell probably in this next set of corners. Here he goes to the high side in turn 2.
No contest. It is all Logano. Joey Logano to the lead. 24 and a half laps to go. And Logano now trying to set sight for his second win of the season.
Nolo contendere on that pass, and now Chase Briscoe will easily breeze past his teammate Christopher Bell. So now it's Logano leading Briscoe. That's the battle for the lead and the win with 24 laps to go.
Apparently there was a conversation about something on Bell's radio. We'll have to get an update on that. But at the front, it is still Logano who has the lead.
So you got Briscoe, you got Bell and Reddick, rather, who are on the same strategy, 3rd and 4th. With where they're at right now, they might still be able to hold on for a top 5 finish, but it's not going to be a win for either of those two. Logano and Briscoe off the end of the back straightaway. They make the dive into turn 3, and when they come back to the line, it'll be 22 to go with car 22 leading Chase Briscoe by 5 car lengths. They go back to turn 1.
It is Logano with the lead, 0.6 of a second over Briscoe. And Logano now trying to get by the lap car. He's going to get by the Todd Gilliland machine.
And as they run right now, Logano would make a huge jump up the championship standings. From 13th to 8th, Logano would go if it stays this way.
Bell of the radio quote, "Well, damn, there goes my hope."
Yep. Yeah, that one was that was going to be a difficult strategy to pull off to win. There's a chance he might still finish 3rd, but we know after Christopher, he's finished 2nd so much this year, and it's not going to be 2nd tonight unless something changes. But he was wanting to win, but he's still going to get a good finish as long as the wheels stay on it tonight. And, of course, he'll be going into New Hampshire as the favorite next week. Now we
Hendrick,
focus...
by the way,
Yep.
I'm sorry, Cindric had an 11.3-second pit stop last time.
So that's why he's fallen back a bit, still running 5th, and he should be at least able to get past Reddick for 4th before this race is over. In fact, right on cue, he's going to get by him now here, Seth. To the outside goes Cindric of Reddick.
Yep, so Cindric by Reddick and up into 4th. Another great performance at Richmond by Austin Cindric. He has just been doing his job at this place the last couple of years. Briscoe's not letting Logano get too far away here.
No, he's not. That's going to be a battle for the win here, and there's a lot of traffic in front of these leaders, including Ryan Blaney. The strategy's not worked out well for the 12 team. Here come the leaders across the line. Logano from Briscoe. The gap is 3, maybe 4 car lengths. They go to 1.
Yeah, Briscoe trying to track Logano down, and there is an absolute hornet's nest and boatload of traffic these guys are going to have to face.
Up off turn 4, Logano crosses the line. He'll try to get around Josh Balicki under braking to turn 1. Balicki gives the leader plenty of room.
Indeed he does. Now, Blaney will give room with them being Penske teammates. Here goes Logano to the inside, and he will go by Blaney with ease.
Joey Logano and Chase Briscoe up off turn number 4. The leaders cross the line, separated by 4 car lengths. We're down to 15 laps to go in Richmond, Virginia.
Briscoe working, trying to elbow his way past Blaney, and Blaney's holding him up. That's not what Briscoe needs. Logano going to leg this out by an extra car length or 2 as they work through 3 and 4.
Yeah, no real race manipulation there from Blaney, but he didn't move over and give Briscoe an easy pass. Briscoe lost about a car length that lap.
Logano now with the advantage. He'll go by the Cody Ware automobile as he just gives way on the high side of the racetrack. The next lap car for Logano is about 3 car lengths away. That is Austin Hill.
Boy, Briscoe just went hard into turn 3, and he cut the deficit down, but he does not get as good of an exit off of 4. 13 laps to go.
Getting close to show and tell time where you can't save a tire, but then again, there could be a caution happening right here. Daniel Suarez, Riley Herbst, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., and Michael McDowell are in an almighty scramble. Stenhouse gets into the back of Herbst.
Well, and remember, it was a couple of years ago. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. was involved in the accident right in front of race leader Austin Dillon that set the stage for the kooky overtime in this race.
Logano still on the bottom of the racetrack. Lap cars in front of him. Zane Smith and Austin Hill side by side. Smith now passing Hill. And Logano has got to be careful. Smith just goes way to the high side of the racetrack. Smart move by car 38.
So Smith in a Ford lets the leader in a Ford go by. Logano adds to his lead. Further back, Austin Cindric has run down Christopher Bell. He'll pass him up off the exit of turn number 4. So that's Cindric up to 3rd, but that's 9 seconds off the lead. We follow the leaders heading back to turns 3 and 4. Chase Briscoe wedges his way underneath Michael McDowell. Shoots past car number 71. He's in touch with the leader Logano. They come across the line. Briscoe was a 1/10 of a second faster than Logano that lap. It's half a second the margin.
Yeah, Briscoe's not done yet, but he's going to need to work it and he's going to have to hope for some help from these lap cars to force Logano into a slip-up. Briscoe packs it in, but he's still 2 car lengths behind.
Logano the winner at North Wilkesboro. Briscoe the winner at Chicagoland. They're both searching for win number 2 on the season. Briscoe closes in on the approach to turn 1.
Did get close that time. Now tries to diamond the corner with the lap cars running side by side in front of them. This could get hairy. Briscoe packs it in again. He's within a car length of Logano this time.
Up off of turn number 4, Logano stands on the throttle. Briscoe tries to match him. 0.3 of a second is the interval. 8 laps remain.
Herbst and Hill side by side in front of these two. Briscoe to within a car length of Logano, but Logano stays in front going into turn number 3. Again, Briscoe drives in. Logano slipped a little bit. Briscoe got there, but couldn't make a move.
Briscoe wrapped the bottom, closes right in on Logano. They scream across the line. 7 laps to go. Traffic ahead of the 2 leaders.
Riley Herbst is right dead in front of Joey Logano. And could he provide interference for a Toyota? We'll see. Logano goes inside of the Herbst machine. Briscoe about a car length back. Herbst will go up the track to let Briscoe by, but Logano still leads.
Logano holds a tenuous lead of 2 car lengths, maybe now just 1 across the line. Half a dozen to go. The gap is just 1 single car length.
Joey Logano, Chase Briscoe trying to reel him in as they work the back straightaway. Logano has that car to the bottom of the racetrack. Briscoe goes up a little bit. It's Logano by a car length.
Briscoe climbed the banking between turns 3 and 4, tried to get a run up off the top, but Logano holds him off, at least for now. 5 to go, they're in 1.
They're diamond attempt here by Chase Briscoe. Can he reel Logano in? Doesn't look very good at the present time. Logano keeping that steady 1 car length lead. Briscoe goes up the track. When he backs it in, the car gets away from him and he goes high. He pushes and he wiggled off 4 that time.
Yeah, the back end slipped out from Briscoe out of 4. Logano gaps him by a couple of inches. 4 laps remain.
4 to go. 2 car lengths now the lead for Joey Logano for Chase Briscoe. Down the back straightaway. Logano trying to leg it out, and the lap traffic in front of him is not creating as much a factor as first originally thought.
Chase Briscoe applies the full court press on the back of race leader Joey Logano, but the 3-time series champion is as cool as the seeds inside of a cucumber.
Logano's lead now at 2 car lengths down the back straightaway. Again, Briscoe is trying, but it doesn't look like he's going to have anything. He drives it in. Meanwhile, Austin Hill and Eric Jones racing tight in front of him.
Yeah, the leaders have to be circumspect about the lap cars that they close in on. Over the line, 2 laps to go. Logano charges to the bottom of turn 1. He'll pass both the 33 and the 43 in 1 move.
Masterful move by Logano, and Briscoe gets a little bit loose, and so Logano's lead is now about 3 car lengths on the approach to turn 3. Time for the bell lap at Richmond. Logano leads by 2 car lengths.
Joey Logano up off turn 4, white flag in the air, searching for his 3rd career Richmond win. Chase Briscoe 2 car lengths back, looking for a miracle.
Tries to go to the high side of the racetrack. 1 more car in front of Logano, Ross Chastain. Not going to be an issue. Logano has now legged it out to 3 car lengths. Joey Logano, you can cut a snake's head off and he still refuses to die.
He is never out of it. Off turn 4, checkered flag in the air. Career win number 39. Joey Logano wins for the 3rd time in his career at the Richmond Raceway. He's like the bad guy in every scary movie. You just can't get rid of him. Joey Logano is going to be a contender for this championship again. His 2nd win of the year comes in fine fashion in Richmond, Virginia.
Well, again, I'm going to quote an announcer that you don't like and a team that neither one of us particularly like. You don't have to respect Joey Logano. You don't have to like Joey Logano, but you're going to have to deal with Joey Logano.
He's going to go in as one of the favorites next week at New Hampshire as well. He's now won on the short, flat tracks of North Wilkesboro and Richmond this season. He was a contender at Iowa last week on a similar track. Pit road issues pushed him down the running order. But next week, we're going to be talking about in New England, Bell, Logano, Blaney, all those same kinds of guys. But again, Joey Logano has just made a massive jump up in the championship standings. He started the night 13th, and it looks like he's going to end the night 8th. 5 positions gained in the championship standings for Joey Logano, who has scored the victory. And we'll see what kind of milkshake he orders. It's a Cookout 400 win for Jolo. Heck of a duel between him and Chase Briscoe over the last couple stints of this race.
Yeah, Briscoe tried, but it wasn't there. unofficially, Priest now 50 behind the cut line. Cindric is now 57 clear.
12th.
Unofficially.
Yeah, third place finish for Austin Cindric.
And and I'm sorry, real quick. Two things. One, we talk about guys being linked all the time. Here's one for you. Joey Logano has just tied Matt Kenseth on the all-time Cup Series win list. And Kyle Larson has already ran off of pit road.
Wow.
He has said, peace out, Richmond.
Is he going to try to get there? My goodness. Joey Logano has just climbed out of his race car, and we will go down trackside and hear from Joey, his second win of the year. It was such a miserable first half of the year for Logano, but a dominant win at North Wilkesboro got him off the schneid, and now he scored another win, this one at Richmond. And yeah, you're right, Seth. You're gonna have to deal with Joey Logano. Marty Snyder from USA Sports down on the track to talk to him. Let's hear from Joey Logano, his third win at Richmond, his first in 9 years. He last won here in 2017. Got some audio issues. I could hear Joey, but no one else could. He basically just said what we just said. Don't let us get hot. So I got some audio issues. Sorry about that. But it is Joey Logano who has scored the win here tonight at Richmond. 0.3 of a second, the margin at the checkered flag from him to Chase Briscoe. Seth, there were times tonight where it looked like Chase Briscoe was going to be able to win this race, and I'm sure it's disappointing for him to have a winning card only to finish second with it, but he has never been close here at Richmond, and to lead this many laps tonight and finish second, what an achievement from the 19 team.
Yeah, very good run. Very, very good run. And again, just much needed run. Congratulating Joe Gibbs, having a chat with him post race. And Briscoe's a guy I don't know if you can count out of making a run here, because he's coming up on some tracks that he runs really well at. Man, it's gonna be spicy.
And a lot of very heavy strategy play tonight, and it's Paul Wolf and Joey Logano that play it the best, and it's Logano who scores the victory in the Cookout 400. Seth, will 3-hour race. Again, I don't know why people want to shorten these things. They go by pretty quick on nights like tonight. But Seth, final thoughts? Driver of the night? All of that? What do you got?
One more note. First top 5 for Chase Elliott since his Texas win.
Wow.
And only his second top 10 cinch. It's his first opt-in since Nashville, the end of May.
Wow.
I gotta go Logano for driver of the day just because he's back. Oh boy. Solid race tonight. Think we're gonna have a pretty good end of the regular season. The chase should be interesting. Love chopping it up with all of with you and with everybody else that was in the chat tonight. Appreciate all of you that tuned in. Glad to have you with us. Fun night from the capital city of the Commonwealth of Virginia.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of new subscribers tonight, so that's good to see. Glad everyone joined us, and hope you all enjoyed what you seen and heard here on USN. Again, tomorrow we've got Dutch football, 10:30. We've got IndyCar at noon in Markham. We've got baseball at 3 in Chicago. And, of course, a busy week coming up. So, for everyone here at USN, JT behind the scenes, amazing as always. For Seth Eaves, Matthew Owens here signing off. It's Joey Logano who scores his second win of the year, third of his career at Richmond. Logano wins the Cookout 400. Now, we'll go get kicked out of a Cookout drive-thru. I want a hot dog and a milkshake. Thank you very much. Good night.